is they got the boat back to the dock. They apparently hit something in the water. It caused extensive damage to the propeller, basically the complete loss of one blade of the three-bladed propeller. And once you have a propeller that is out of balance that far, it can cause extensive damage to the back of the boat. Unfortunate situation for the U-40, the Beacon Plumbing guys, but Kelly Stockland and his team have had to sign the paperwork and withdraw from the 2022 Indiana Governor's Cup. So tough break on that one. Jeff, I'll toss it back to you. You've got something, I think.
Thank you, Brad. Attention along the shoreline and in the pit area. We have a silver Ford Escape with Washington license plate tags. This vehicle needs moved immediately as it's affecting setup at the Brewster Tail Music Festival venue. Washington tag, C. Charlie, B. Baker, F. Foxtrot, 8977. That vehicle needs to be moved immediately. Your license plate cover around the plate is from Tacoma Larson, and I'm sure you're familiar with Larson Motors in Tacoma out in the Pacific Northwest.
Look Larson in Tacoma, absolutely.
Look Larson, I like that
Look
logo.
Larson, they used to have a very high-profile spokesperson. Very high profile at Look Larson in Tacoma. His name was Russell Wilson. He doesn't have that position anymore, I don't think. We kind of sent him up to Mile High up in Denver. And oh, by the way, that's a Washington plate. It's not mine. I got a set of Washington plates here, but that one's not mine, Jeff.
Do they have a friendly shuttle driver at Look Larson Tacoma?
I would imagine they do, not as friendly as they are here. I mean, we do draw the line at some point. So we got boats going in the water. And the next two boats out on the H1 Unlimited course will be the U8, the Miss Tri-Cities, and the U9, the Lynx Healthcare entry. This is going to be fun to say for the next year. The U9, the Lynx Healthcare, the defending APBA Gold Cup champion, and Corey Peabody.
Beautiful race boat, and Brad, we mentioned earlier, it is the oldest boat in the fleet here, but no doubt it is a contender this weekend at the Madison Regatta in the showdown tomorrow and the Indiana Governor's Cup format on Sunday. The U9 Lynx Healthcare, driven by Corey Peabody out of Kent, Washington. The teammate boat is in the water, J. Michael Kelly and the U8 Miss Tri-Cities, and we get a beautiful view of JMK on the screen through H1 Unlimited. You see the intensity of the eyes, the air mask is on. So Brad, I expect here very shortly to get H1 Unlimited hydroplane testing back on the Ohio River. It's been a struggle so far this year for Miss Tri-Cities. Is it now time that those problems have went away to get where they need to be running?
You know, and it's amazing you talk to these teams because it has been a bit of a struggle for them. Or let's put it this way, they seem to have some difficulty in the two test sessions. Guntersville did not roll the way they wanted to, but they will all tell you that sometimes it's the 2.5 or 3.5 hour drive from one venue to another. The fortunes can just change overnight, and you never know when it's going to happen, so it could be right now. I have a little piece of trivia for you that I'm going to assume that you and Jordan are very well aware of this one, but maybe somebody has missed this along the way. There are only a handful of H1 Unlimited drivers in the history of the sport who won the first race they ever entered. Names like Howie Benz come to mind, but another name that comes to mind is that of Dave Vilwalk. You know what boat he drove?
The U102.5 Coors Dry KZOK radio.
AKA the U9 Lynx Healthcare. That boat was the one that Dave Vilwalk drove in San Diego. The boat first hit the water in Seattle as the Coors Dry. And who drove it then?
Mitch Evans.
I can't get past you, Jeff. You're on top of your game.
I was there.
You're on top of your game. You were there?
That was a beautiful paint job on that boat right out of the box. Oh, it was gorgeous. Yes, I was there, Brad.
I was there too. I didn't know you then.
No.
We could have had a hamburger. Anyway, a little trivia there about that boat. It is the oldest boat in the circuit, but like we talk about, these boats get pretty much rebuilt every year, so it's not like they haven't touched it in 30 years.
Mentioning first-time winning drivers in the unlimited class going back to 1973 at the President's Cup. Gene Whip in the U-29 Lincoln Thrift and Loan 7.25% special. I would give anything in this day and age of 22 to get 7.25% on any investment right now.
But here's the key about Gene Whip at the President's Cup. There was one other unique aspect to the fact that he won the first race he ever entered, and that was he retired the next day. He retired undefeated. He's the only undefeated H1 Unlimited hydroplane driver. But, you know, in sports, they always talk about you have to have a minimum number of games or a minimum number. He only had one race, but he won it. Gene Whip.
Brad, we had another taker. We've had some barbecue delivered.
Wow.
From Big E's Southern Q, proprietor Eric Big E Smith. Our officials will get a sample, and it's fair evaluation. We will rate the barbecue from Big E's Southern Q. Don Malello already has the napkins and the soiled hand towels. He's getting ready. Thank you, Big E's Southern Q. I like that name.
Jeff, I'm not quite sure what's going on the race course here, and I cannot see the flags from where I am. Oh, we got a black flag on the race course. We've got some patrol boats that are moving on the interior of the race course. But I know we got a couple of H1 Unlimiteds that have been placed in the water. And we're going to have both boats representing the stable of Strong Racing out on the water very shortly. Corey Peabody, newly crowned APBA Gold Cup champion. And we do now have a green flag on the race course. Looking down toward the U8 of J. Michael Kelly. The lid has been pressed down on that H1 Unlimited hydroplane, so look for JMK to be out very shortly. Got one more crew member to step off the deck. Jeff, what do you got for me?
Well, I tell you what, we've already rated Big E's Southern Q, Eric Big E Smith, the owner, proprietor, 11 as well on a scale of 1 to 10. And Brad, how about this slogan? If you ain't wearing the sauce, it ain't good barbecue.
There you go. I like that. Wow. Thank you to them. Good stuff. And away from the dock, J. Michael Kelly, the U8, the Miss Tri-Cities.
And when it's good, you got to really throw in that southern drawl.
Yes, you do. The Ayler growl will be coming out a little bit later. Oh, gosh, the fans are going, somebody put a muzzle on those two. We're having a good time up here. We hope everybody else is. It's a nice day here in Madison, Indiana. We've got an unlimited hydroplane on the Ohio River, and right then and there for the great fans here in Indiana. That's pretty much all it takes.
Brad, I'm anxious to see how this run goes for the U8 Miss Tri-Cities. No doubt one of the best H1 Unlimiteds in the pit area. You mentioned about traveling 3 hours. This boat last year ran well all season. From the off season to 2022, there's a glitch. They've not found the glitch, but when they find it, watch out.
Look out, absolutely. They will find it at some point. Every team goes through it. They'll find it. They'll figure it out. The brain trust down there is very, very strong as Mike comes off the top end of the race course, not really putting the foot down here too much. And as I say that, Jeff, looks like the rooster tail comes up on the U8. It's the Miss Tri-Cities. It's J. Michael Kelly out of Bonnie Lake, Washington, driving the Miss Tri-Cities.
Miss Tri-Cities, the U8, J. Michael, a two-time winner here in Madison, 2014 and 2015. Here at the Madison Regatta, works into turn number 1, puts it on the hook. Skid fin bolted behind the left sponson, helps turn these massive H1 Unlimited hydroplanes. Beautiful shot on our camera through H1 Unlimited, through YouTube, up the Trimble County, Kentucky shoreline of the Ohio River. Nice boat ride approaching the second version of the Milton-Madison Bridge in front of the Milton boat ramp. Brad into turn number 2. We'll see what the test time is as he crosses start-finish line buoy in about 17 seconds.
It never changes. It doesn't change. J. Michael Kelly, our defending National High Points Driver Championship that he clinched in almost Herculean fashion in San Diego on Mission Bay last September. But now it's all about the 2022 Indiana Governor's Cup. Mike looks strong coming across start-finish. He's got one hot lap in the books. We'll get a speed for it shortly.
Brad, I'm not an expert. It still seems to be a little transom heavy. Do you see that as well?
Yeah, and actually that's a good way to put it, because it just seems like the boat's not getting up out of the water. We talked earlier about sponsons and hanging a sponson and not touching the water, because if you do, it's just drag, it slows you down. And speaking of slowing down, Mike has pulled his foot at the 2/3 mark of the backstretch here as he goes underneath the bridge. We'll see if he doesn't do some sort of a timing run. But you're right, it's just to the untrained eye, maybe that's how we put it. You and I are untrained. Maybe the boat's just not getting up high enough and dancing.
Well, here's a timing run, Brad, off the exit pin of turn number 2, the start-finish line buoy. Beautiful sight here on the Wild Bill Cantrell Memorial Racecourse. J. Michael Kelly, U8 Miss Tri-Cities, and he gets there in 18 seconds.
That's called hanging the right sponson, too. He had a lot of air under that boat on the front straightaway. He goes hard into the lower corner. See if Kelly keeps his foot in it and tries to run a hot lap. There's where he ran into trouble last year in the race, and that took him out of the race. Now it's acceleration off the corner. Kelly running a hot lap so far. It was a good start. He's now halfway through his trip around this 2.5-mile oval. Jeff, I really like the run down the front straightaway. We'll see if he can translate that into a hot lap here and maybe touch that 150 mark.
I agree, Brad. I think they'd love to get to 150, knowing something they have to work with going into the showdown format tomorrow, the Indiana Governor's Cup format on Sunday. Little puff of smoke off the rear end, off turn number 2. Coming down the Indiana shoreline. 2.5-mile course, the Wild Bill Cantrell Memorial Race Course. J. Michael Kelly, he's airing it out in the U8 Miss Tri-Cities. You can see visually slowing, entering turn number 1 in the dominant silver white and the fluorescent orange on the verticals and at the tail end of the cowling. Fastest lap of the weekend for the U8 Miss Tri-Cities here in testing. 147.473 miles per hour, 147.473.
So he's gaining on it, and you never know what they've changed. And I always make the comment, he could have gone out there and run 10 miles an hour slower. And everybody would go, boy, they didn't learn anything there. That's not any good. You always learn something. And maybe what you learn is that wasn't the way you wanted to go. That was at least a step in the right direction. Now we'll see what Mike does here. See if he doesn't go through a start sequence a little bit. Mike is one of our aggressive H1 drivers when it comes to cutting the race course and finding a way to get to an inside lane. Look at the white caps that are laying down there from his last run through. You get 3 or 4 boats out here down through that corner, it can get mighty soupy, and I'm not telling you anything you don't already know.
That part of the Ohio River, the Trimble County shoreline, starts creeping toward the river. It's narrower, the river down that part of the Ohio River. Sometimes it's tough for that roller activity to dissipate. Brad, I put the watch on him at this leisurely pace, entering turn number 1. Now approaching the Milton-Madison Bridge. We're about at the 35-second mark, and we've said this last week in Guntersville and earlier today with his teammate Corey Peabody. Even though he's running slow, this is strategy, trying to get the timing marks right, get set in motion. You have to have a great sense of direction inside these H1 Unlimiteds to get to the start-finish line buoy at full tilt, full throttle when the clock strikes 0, when they go racing.
Yeah, here comes Mike off the top end. You're right, because it's not just how long it takes you to get from the exit pin up there down to start finish, but you need to know how long it takes you to run an entire lap at 80 or 85 or maybe 90 miles an hour. It just helps set yourself up for the start. And if Mike doesn't bring it in, and it does not appear that he is going to bring it in, that's exactly what he's doing. They're just finding out how long does it take him to make a run around this course. Now see if he doesn't hang a left-hand turn here. Come on, Mike, make me look good. No, he's not going to do it.
You have a knack at that. You do real well with that cutting in and out at the infield.
I had a hot streak going last week down in Gville.
You sure did.
We talked about Mike and his National High Points Drivers Championship last year. That one was on his list. He had never claimed that title before, and he really wanted it. Interesting piece here. Our Tana Morissette putting the speeds down, and look at the speed for that lap, 84 miles an hour. So there it is. He wanted to find out if make sure he's above 80 miles an hour, how long does it take him to go all the way around the race course? And he just found out. Last lap was at 83.976.
So right in the ballpark there, Brad, the ideal time around the 2.5 mile course, going at a clip above 80 miles per hour. Working off turn number 2, working that lane number 1 sequence, trying to get the timing marks down to go into racing activity tomorrow and Sunday. He picks it up. Brad, I was tardy on the watch. I had it out of my hand. Generally about right there, the start-finish line, Boo. You're looking at, oh, now that's a floater. Nice boat ride.
Why does my heart always go right up in my throat when they do that? Yikes, Mike.
He does it well.
He does it well.
That one video of J. Mike last year at Tri-Cities, it seemed like that boat just rode on that propeller all the way down that front chute. The sponsons barely touched the water. Phenomenal boat ride, and might be learned a little bit something here, going slower and then hitting the throttle.
You just never know. Mike's a racer. Mike doesn't do anything that isn't focused on getting him one step closer to a victory. Everything he does is to make things better, faster, quicker, stronger.
J. Mike, of course, the 2016 APBA Gold Cup champion, continuing some timing runs here on the Wild Bill Cantrell Memorial Racecourse. And Brad, you see him in that lane 1 sequence. Not surprised, he knows that's a shorter way around.
Careful, Mike, you had it really floating last time. You got it floating again, too. J. Michael Kelly, driving a U8 to Miss Tri-Cities. He loves to hang it there, doesn't he?
Well, he sure does as he continues around the track. Have some GPA boats in there in the water. GP14 River City Printing with Brandon Kennedy, your defending GPA winner here in Madison. Also, too, the GP33 with their local sponsor, Pacalana's Poke Wagon, and the TM35 River City Printing.
And I think
TM35 be the River City Printing as well. Yes, and Super Shine. Greg Hopp will return. That will be their second time out on the course.
So JMK is going to come back to the pit area. You notice his teammate, Corey Peabody, just sat at the dock and waited for Mike to get done. Now Mike's coming back. There goes Corey, our newly crowned Gold Cup champion. I had the good fortune, Jeff, as you know, to be standing on the dock in Tri-Cities last summer when Corey Peabody returned to the dock after passing his kindergarten and grade school friend on the 4th lap of a 5-lap final for the Hapo Columbia Cup to claim his first ever victory. Corey went for a swim. I was standing about 5 feet from him when he got taken into the Columbia River there. what a happy moment to get your first ever win in H1 Unlimited. I remember talking to him later, and I said, you always knew you could compete at this level. You knew it in your heart, but was there a sense of validation? Yeah, I can do it now. I proved it. He said, yeah, maybe to some. He said, I always knew I could do it. And oh man, can he ever.
And he won last week in the APBA Gold Cup, primarily cut his teeth in the 1-liter division out in APBA Region 10. But Brad, you and I had an opportunity to see Corey compete in 1-liter at Lake Spanaway numerous times, and you could see the savviness. No doubt, dynamite, talented pilot. Of course, cut his teeth in the Unlimiteds with Rob Graham several seasons ago in the U98 Graham Trucking. Moves up to this hot ride in the U9, campaigned by Daryl and Vanessa Strong with their new sponsor this year, Lynx Healthcare. It will be on the boat in Tri-Cities, and then Northway Construction will be the name of the craft at the Home Street Bank Cup at Seafair.
Yeah, it was about 10 years ago. I was doing a race in Region 10 at Moses Lake. Our dear friend Anna Capoletti was putting that event on. And we all went out to dinner that night, and there was a seat open next to me at the table, and this young man came up and sat down, and he said, hi, I'm Corey Peabody. I'd never met him before, and we sat there and chatted, and I met his family that night. I watched him run that 1-liter 4 times that weekend. The kid never lost, and nobody ever got in front of him, and I went, wow, this kid can drive, and someday he's got a Gold Cup now.
And that first career win last year at the Hapo Columbia Cup, as you mentioned. Corey, like his teammate earlier, J. Michael Kelly, going around the track in this leisurely stroll. Brad have to be above 80 miles per hour in a running attitude prior to the start when we go racing tomorrow on Sunday. And these speeds are monitored by the officials.
Yeah, and it's a big deal. As we saw last week down in Guntersville, it played into the finish order and some of our preliminary racing. It cost one particular boat a spot on the front row of the final because it is a disqualification. You don't get an extra lap and still get points. It's a DSQ when you're out and you get a goose egg. It also played a big role in who was our Gold Cup champion last week.
And it was a perfect example, and tough break for Jimmy Shane. But now Corey Peabody hits the throttle a little bit more heavy in the U9, Lynx Healthcare. We have more kettle corn. Do you have a business card? Ted Rose Kettle Corn out of Nashville, Indiana. Thank you for the samples. We will rate it from Ted Rose Kettle Corn. Let me write that down before you leave. Thank you for the samples.
Jeff, why don't you get his contact information, and meanwhile, we'll keep an eye on Corey Peabody. Yes, Don Malello, we have more food for you down here. He's going to be the best fed man in all of Madison, Indiana by the end of this weekend. Corey Peabody, top end of the race course in the U9, Lynx Healthcare. New sponsor for Daryl and Vanessa Strong, new sponsor on the H1 Unlimited circuit. They're going to be on board here in Madison and in 3 weeks out in the Tri-Cities of Washington. Corey puts the hammer down, going to run hard here down to the start-finish line. Corey flying the boat. Nice, solid boat ride. We said it about 15 times last week in Guntersville, Jeff. We'll say it again. This boat just looks good. Boat looks very, very good on the water. This time Corey goes hard through the lower corner. He appears to be doing a very similar scenario here to what J. Michael Kelly, his teammate, just did, which was a couple slow laps around the track. He had one at 94 miles an hour. His next one was at a $1:13. But this time, Corey's got the foot in it, running harder up the backstretch as he goes underneath that famous Milton-Madison Bridge in front of the Milton boat ramp. I'm catching on, Jeff. I know the landmarks around here now.
You're doing a fabulous job, my friend. And hey, this boat, was this the 2001 APBA Gold Cup winner as Tubby's Grilled Subs with Mike Hansen in the cockpit?
Most assuredly was. Here it comes. As you like to say, Jeff, he's waving at the fans as he comes across, start, finish, picking up and walking across the sponsons.
Looks a little frightening, but Brad, that can be a good boat ride for the drivers. Getting it loose, breaking away from the water.
Yeah, and we got a black flag on the race course. Corey's going to get told right now by his, and Jeff Campbell, his radio man, is looking up, and that black flag is right above his head. So Corey will get the message, and he will head back in this boat that was built originally back in 1992. Couple of Gold Cups, and you said it, 2018 with Andrew Tate behind the wheel, and that win in 2001. Maybe the greatest hydroplane name of all time, Tubby's Grilled Sub Sandwiches. So Corey will come back to the pit area. I got a hunch, Jeff, we're getting ready to go racing. We are going to step away from the microphone, but only for a moment or two. Corey's last lap was 149 and change, 149 miles an hour and change. We're going to step away from the microphone here for just a moment while we get a couple of things in order, but when we come back, we will go racing. It will be our Grand Prix America Series presented by Knighton Industries. It'll be Heat 1A. Jeff, you've got something to say.
We have our evaluation. Once again, 11 on a scale of 1 to 10. Stop by and see the fine folks at Tedros Kettle Corn, based out of Nashville, Indiana. Pop with Tedros. Thank you for the samples, and they are good. Attention the pits, attention the pits. GPA drivers stand by for countdown to 1 to the 5. Coming up in 5, 4, hold count. 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That's 1 to the 5 for GPA Heat 1A. Thirty seconds. $20, 15, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. That's the 5-minute period for Grand Prix America Heat 1A, brought to you by Rivertown Bar and Grill. Drivers, crank them up.
All right, Jeff Hayward, the boats are in the water. Take them around.
Grand Prix America, presented by Knighton Industries. 24-foot length boat, 12-foot width, 468 cubic inch engine, 1,400 horsepower. 2,700 pound of racing vessel. Shoot speeds here at the end of each shoot in Madison, 150 to 155 miles per hour. It is assigned lanes with a clock start. 4-lap heat, 5-mile competition. Jordan Bear set our field lanes 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yes, sir. In lane number 1, we will have GP33. That is the Pacalana Polka Wagon, driven by Jack Lupton. Lane number 2, we have River City Printing 2, the TM Special. River City Printing 2, driven by Bobby Kennedy. In lane 3, it is the GP14, the River City Printing number 1, driven by Brandon Kennedy. And then we have the GP15, the Miss Super Shine, driven by Greg Hopp. And I look over to the clock to my left, Jeff. We have, looks like about 3 minutes, 5 seconds left. 4 laps to go, my friend. Let's go racing.
3 minutes until the start, 3 minutes away. Bobby Kennedy by the start-finish line buoy. River City Printing 2. So 3 local sponsors, 1 sponsor with 2 boats. Lane number 1, Jack Lupton out of Waverly, New Zealand, the Pacalanas Poke Wagon. Bobby Kennedy out of Fenton, Michigan. And River City Printing 2 in lane 2. Brandon Kennedy, your defending Madison champion in GPA, out of Newark, Delaware, in lane 3, and River City Printing. And Greg Hopp is dead in the water right now in the Super Shine on the back chute. He would slide into the 4 lane, and the enclosed capsule has come up. So that's bad news for Hopp and Super Shine. Looks like we'll be down to 3.
Looks like that, because we just saw Hopp, like you said, pop his cockpit up. And he is out and about, but that boat has gone dead. And now we just see the GP14 River City Printing, driven by Brandon Kennedy. And now we have the 3 boats again. We are now down to 1:45 until the start again. Lanes assigned. It is a clock start. You jump that line before the clock hits 0, you're penalized a lap. And pretty much takes you out of the running immediately. As we get ready again, we have more and more boats continuous to go by, Jeff. We have 2 up on the backstretch again. Got to look out for Greg Hopp. He's dead in the water. We got 1:25, Jeff, until the start of the race.
Thank you, Jordan Bear. I'll bring him to the start-finish line buoy. Jordan, I'll hand him to you off turn number 1, then kick him back to me off that exit pin at turn number 2, just like we did last year here at the Madison Regatta. We're going to have a fun weekend, and better yet, Jordan, racing on Friday.
Racing on Friday. I mean, you don't even need a wristband to get down here, Jeff. This is free racing on Friday. Let's go racing, fans. Get down. Let's watch.
Brandon Kennedy by the start-finish line buoy. River City Printing, the Chartreuse blue and silver. Both at the inside. Dominant red is the Pacalana's Poke Wagon. Jack Lupton, that's the Waverly, New Zealand entry. That craft will be in lane number 1. Now, Bobby Kennedy, he's off sequence, Jordan, in the River City Printing 2. Now, his lid is up, so we're going to be down to a showdown with 2 boats. So a tough break for Bobby Kennedy and Greg Hopp. They'll get a did not start here. So it's Ken Lupton, or Jack Lupton on the inside, Brandon Kennedy on the outside. Grand Prix America Heat 1A, sponsor Rivertown Bar and Grill. We're 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. We're racing Rivertown Bar and Grill. GPA Heat 1A, Lupton to the inside, Kennedy to the outside. Kennedy appears to be running better here in Madison than he did in Guntersville. But your Guntersville winner in lane number 1, Jack Lupton. Pacalana's Poke Wagon leads it. Lupton in front.
Lupton in front. It looks like Kennedy's losing some power in his boat. He's trying to get it back up and going, but it looks like he may be going dead in turn number 1, and he has gone dead. So now Pacalana's Poke Wagon, Jack Lupton, is now the only boat that is up and running. We have all 3 other boats dead in the water. Looking up at the flag. Still a green flag. We go here, Jeff.
Coming down to complete lap number 1, so some unfortunate attrition here in the first heat of the weekend at the 2022 Madison Regatta. Jack Lupton now just needs to keep it alive, keep it together to score those first place points in the Pacalana's Poke Wagon off the turn, and it's just a matter of keeping it together.
It is, so he doesn't have to run it too hard, probably even get almost in a way a testing session out of it in a way, but he's going to get those points, which are huge going into the final coming up on Sunday afternoon as Lupton gets ready to hit the entrance pin of turn number 2. Still look up, still see the green flag, Jeff Ayler, as he comes down the front stretch.
Looking up top, I wanted to see if they might deliver the white a little bit early, but no, green flag still waving. So we're at the halfway mark of Rivertown Bar and Grill Grand Prix America Heat 1A, and it's all Jack Lupton working around at a leisurely pace, wanting to score those first place points in the Pacalana's Poke Wagon. Sun went underneath the cloud cover here in the Ohio River Valley. Lupton off the turn, and boy, tough way to start the weekend. 2 boats did not start. Brandon Kennedy dead in the water off turn number 1, but hopefully things will turn around the other way.
Hopefully so. You know, again, I was talking to GP79s earlier, and they're hoping, because they went dead during their testing session, and they hope they can get that fixed. But again, Lupton looks up, and Jeff, I think I'm getting ready to see the white flag as he comes down the front straightaway.
We look up top, and we do get the white flag, so they will run all 4 laps here in Rivertown Bar and Grill. Grand Prix America Heat 1A, working the final lap. Jack Lupton out of Waverly, New Zealand. This is a brand new racing craft built by Bert Henderson out of Rockville, Ontario, Canada. Boat debuted at the Cambridge Classic in Cambridge, Maryland. Did not come out of the box so hot, but they've worked on it. Now it is one of the dominant boats in GPA, and Jordan a half a lap away to getting those first place points.
And again, at the end of the day, that's what matters. You get first place points on the first day. That's a confidence builder. It doesn't matter how you get it. You have first place points in the bank. That means that's all those points heading to the final day. And Jeff, get ready for the checkered flag.
Checkered flag waving, final turn, final lap. Your winner of Rivertown Bar and Grill, GPA Heat 1A, it's Jack Lupton. Pacalana's Poke Wagon.
Again, unfortunate way to start, but he will get first place points. Will Jack Lupton in the Pacalanos Poke Wagon, the GP 33. So he'll probably do a little more of a slower lap before he comes back in. Have to get some of those other boats in, and then of course we will have the Pro Light class, and also we still have unlimited qualifying still to come later today as well, plus 2 more heats of Grand Prix and Pro Light after that as well.
Give us a plug for Dr. Vegetable. Good stuff.
K&M Concessions LLC, DBA Dr. Vegetable, specializing in deep fried vegetables, hand battered corn dogs, and hand battered mozzarella cheese sticks. Call Kelly Thompson at 219-730-5081 or call Mike Thompson 219-730-4910. You can go to facebook.com/K&M Concessions. Folks, it's pretty darn good. It's deep fried food, so I'm obviously going to enjoy it. But Jeff, we're having a lot of people help us out here today, and I'm all for it.
Dr. Vegetable will light up them taste buds.
Yes, he will. I just had an onion ring a minute ago before we went on, and I'm an onion ring fanatic, and it was mighty tasty.
So, Jack Lupton back into the pit dock, your winner of Rivertown Bar and Grill Grand Prix America Heat 1A. And the Pacalanas Poke Wagon. Up next, Rivertown Pizza Pro Light Heat 1A. Jordan will go silent momentarily. We got some dead boats in the water that need to be put on the hook, put into a safe position, or being maybe brought on back into the pit area. But stand by. Up next, Rivertown Pizza Pro Light 1A.
Mr. Paul McKee is the chief referee, and here are the gentlemen working with him. In the helicopter, Mike Noonan, Fred Alder, the pit boss, and the driver's rep, Gene Whip. Also in the turns, Bob Newman, Bill Noonan, and Jack Meyer, and Lee Shaneth assisting on the stand. And now our 5-boat final is about to begin as they come underneath the Madison-Milton Bridge. Here we come with the final of the day. You see the Tosti Asti, the Miss Renault on the inside. There's the Carl Yarling, but where's the Atlas and the Budweiser? They're way back for the start. Heading for the west turn, there comes the blue boat, the Atlas Van Lines, and on the outside, the Budweiser. You can hear the Griffin engine rumble as they go into that west turn. Let's see how they shape up coming out of the turn now. The first turn here on lap number 1 of the final. The Budweiser coming out first, but on the inside, here comes the Atlas Van Lines with Chip Hanauer, the turbine-powered brand new boat, going deck to deck with the Budweiser. The Bud, the Atlas on top going down the back chute. Look at the acceleration by that turbine-powered brand new boat built and designed by Jim Lucero. The Atlas Van Lines, first place, second place to the Budweiser, but look at Jim Kropfeld coming around on the outside. The water flying, more than 4 tons of water coming up from the skid fin of those rooster tails. Great job of cornering, however, by Chip Hanauer and that very, very light and very powerful turbine-powered Atlas Van Lines. Look at the speed of this, the new Atlas Van Lines. Let's check his speed. It is 129.328, a new course record, beating this boat's old record of 128.205 miles per hour in competition. The Budweiser, Jim Kropfeld in second place. The Atlas Van Lines literally running away from the field in this new boat. Chip Hanauer, he has never won here at Madison, Indiana. Would like nothing better than to win the Indiana Governor's Cup, and he's in good shape to do so now. Remember now, Jim Kropfeld talked about trying to push the Atlas Van Lines, possibly forcing it to break. We'll see if that happens, but right now, good race here now for second, check that, third and fourth place between the Tosti Asti and the Renault. But Chip Hanauer, smooth sailing as he goes down the backstretch, headed under the bridge, and will come around the east turn. The Budweiser in second place, and in control right now of that spot. Could pick up another 300 points, and in fact would move in to the number 1 spot for the national point standing if he can get a second place today. Little rough and tumble there for the Atlas Van Lines coming around that east turn, but boy, that boat rides so exceptionally well over these choppy waters on the Ohio River. The Atlas Van Lines, Chip Hanauer, his first possible victory right in front of him now in the Indiana Governor's Cup, if he can hold on to this lead for a few more laps. The second lap, identical speed for the Atlas Van Lines at 129.328 miles per hour. Coming up on the outside now, trying to threaten the Budweiser, it appears, is the Tosti Asti with Steve Reynolds. Remember, that's the old pay-and-back boat. It's the backup boat now for the Tosti Asti. I don't know if Kropfeld can see him coming up. There's the distance between first and second place, though. The Atlas Van Lines really moving along well. And there's the Tosti Asti moving up on the Budweiser. Steve Reynolds trying to sneak up on Jim Kropfeld. In the back of the pack is the Carl Yarling with Jerry Hopp picking up some more valuable points. He's in his second straight final. The Atlas Van Lines rumbling around, about to pass Jerry Hopp in that older boat. The Budweiser in second place. And Steve Reynolds, the Tosti Asti, in third place as he keeps sneaking up. Yes, you can see him behind the rooster tail of the Budweiser. Here comes the Atlas Van Lines now completing another lap. Here's the Budweiser. Look at the Tosti Asti coming on the outside. Steve Reynolds, that skid fin digging in as he comes around in lane number 2. The Budweiser inside. Kropfeld with a position trying to swing wide, I would imagine, as he comes down the lane chute now. A great deck-to-deck race. The turbine against the Griffin here as well. Jim Kropfeld out of Cincinnati, Ohio, trying to keep Steve Reynolds on his outside hip. If he can finish in second place here in the final, as we said earlier, that would catapult the Budweiser into number 1 in the national point standings. They would surpass the Squire Shop, which did not make the final. But there you see a straightaway lead for the Atlas Van Lines in the opposite corner of the Budweiser. Chip Hanauer never has won here at Madison, Indiana, but he has done it today. A brand new boat, a new style of power. Chip Hanauer, Jim Lucero, the Atlas Van Lines team, a winner in Madison, Indiana. Second place to the Budweiser, another 300 points, and the national point standings lead. Jim Kropfeld in the Budweiser. And third place, what a day for Steve Reynolds in the Tosti Asti. So at day's end, here's how they stand. The Atlas Van Lines and Chip Hanauer getting their first victory in Madison. The Budweiser in second place, the Tosti Asti with their backup boat coming in number 3. Milner Irvin and the Renault, fourth place, and fifth place to the Miss Carl Yarling and driver Jerry Hopp. We'll return with a visit with the victorious driver, co-owner, and team manager right after this timeout.
Jordan, with that, we'll take a break. We'll get our watches set in sync. Race fans coming up next. Rivertown Pizza Pro Light Heat 1A. Stand by. For our fans along the shoreline, getting ever closer to 1 to the 5 for Rivertown Pizza Pro Light Heat 1A. Stand by. Inside 1 to the 5 for Heat 1A of the Rivertown Pizza Pro Light. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That's the 5-minute period for Rivertown Pizza Pro Light Heat 1A. Drivers, crank them up. My fault. I'm so sorry. Now we're back to inside 1 to the 5.
We can call that jumping the gun. We can call that a jumping the gun.
Second penalty of the weekend for me. Come on, Ayler. Calm down back there. $15 to the 5. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. Now the 5-minute period for Rivertown Pizza Heat 1A. Drivers, crank them up. Minutes and 20 seconds until the start. Pro Light boats 20-foot length, 10-foot width. Stock engine class, 350 cubic inch engine. Horsepower up to 400. 1,500-pound racing vessel. Chute speeds here in Madison can reach up to 115 miles per hour. 4 minutes until the start. Assign lanes with the clock start. Mr. Bear, who's in this one?
Thank you very much, Mr. Ayler. In lane 1, we have the E242. Miss LDC Construction presents Diego's Mexican Grill, driven by Bobby King. Then guess what? The E2 in lane number 2, that is River City Printing, driven by Bobby's dad, Jimmy King. In lane number 2, in lane number 3, it is the E5 Flyboy, driven by Gary Shalfett. Lane number 4, it is the E323 Maximum Racing, driven by Carl Adams. Then on the outside, lane number 5, it is Boseback, the E54, driven by Dennis Wright. Again, we have 4 laps to go here for Heat 1A, presented by Rivertown Pizza. Jeff Ayler, let's hope it's as entertaining as what we saw in Guntersville last week.
Very exciting class as we're approaching the 3-minute mark, and I believe we might be seeing a little bit of activity from the heavens. We see Carl Adams dead in the water in Maximum Racing. Carl had troubles at Lake Guntersville last week. I was hoping those problems would be solved, but right now, Carl dead in the water. He is out of the racing lane, and yes, it is beginning to shower here in Madison. And right now, Jordan, there is no threat of lightning or inclement weather in the area. I think we'll go on with this heat, continue as we're 2 minutes and 30 seconds until the start, 2:30 away.
Well, and you look around us and you see clear skies for the most part around us, so it doesn't look like this is going to amount to anything, but it's not going to dampen this race. I think we're going to see a good one. Obviously, again, unfortunately, it looks like is that the 323 that's dead right there just outside of the entrance of the race here. So we'll have the 242, the 2, the 5, and the 54 going for Heat 1A, presented by Rivertown Pizza.
We are 2 minutes. 2 minutes until the start. Rivertown Pizza, Pro Light 1A. That is a legal maneuver down there in turn number 1. You can cut the infield and get your boat into position as we're coming up on 1 minute, 40 seconds until the start. Assigned lanes, clock start. Here's your 2 favorites. The white boat, LDC Construction, presents Diego's Mexican Grill. That's the son. His dad is in lane number 2 in the dominant white, orange, yellow craft. That's Jimmy King in River City Printing. Gary Shalvent will go to the 3 lane in the blue and yellow Flyboy. Looks like Carl Adams will get a did not start. And on the outside will be Dennis Wright in Wheeler Baker's Bows Back. Dennis out of New Harmony, Indiana, typically drives in 2.5 stock and he's Alvey Signs. Getting a chance here for Wheeler Baker this weekend, subbing for Scott Litico. Jordan Bear, we are 50 seconds until the start. Bring our field up to turn number 2. We're getting ever closer to Rivertown Pizza Pro Light 1A.
Again, the E242 Miss LDC Construction presents Diego's Mexican Grill. Bobby King right there on the inside, but right to his right, Jimmy King and the E2 River City Printing. We also have the Flyboy, the 5, Gary Shelfett. Again, Carl Adams, unfortunately, doesn't look like it. Then we have the E54, Bose Buck, driven by Dennis Wright. They are getting to the edge. We're at 20 seconds until the start of this race. Again, you can't jump the gun, Jeff. Bring him to the start-finish line.
Sun King, lane 1, Dad King, lane 2, Gary Shalvent in 3, Dennis Wright to the outside, 10 seconds away. Rivertown Pizza Pro Light 1A, we're 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark, and we'll call it physically. It's Dad and Son. Start is under review. Start under review. Top 2 entering turn number 1, the first of 4 times around. We look to the inside. Bobby King, who's your leader. In LDC Construction, here comes the River City Printing. Deck to deck off the turn.
What a race we have, and it's the 242 Bobby King. LDC Construction presents Diego's Mexican Grill. He has the lead, but right outside it is River City Printing, driven by Jimmy King. There is maybe less than a rooster tail separating the 2, and you see Jimmy King trying to catch him as they come into turn 2.
Nice dueling here in Rivertown Pizza Pro Light Heat 1A. Bobby King swings it outside, gives Dad a hip check. We'll come down to complete lap number 1. 1 down, 3 to go. Rivertown Pizza Pro Light 1A. Bobby King working well on the inside, and LDC Construction presents Diego's Mexican Grill, but his dad, Jimmy King's got an answer on the outside in River City Printing. Your race is for first. Bobby King gets there first. Jimmy hitting in the tail off the turn. Sun King in front, Dad's behind.
Uh-oh, Jeff, we have penalties given out. The 242 and 2 both jumped the gun. They have been given 1-minute penalties. That means the E5 Flyboy, driven by Gary Shalfett, right now is in first. Actually, no, is it the Bose? It is Bose Back. Dennis Wright, he's in first place right now. He has a chance to get first place points.
Now, Jordan, these 2 boats, especially Dennis Wright, your leader, time can be made up. They need to be on their toes in the back of the pack. You see Wright slowing, and now Gary Shalvent senses it. Gary Shalvent trying to sneak up on the inside. So Wright swings way outside, so this is actually your battle for first. A 1-minute penalty on elapsed time will be assessed to Bobby and Jimmy King. And right now, Dennis Wright picking up this seat this weekend could score a heat win here for legend Wheeler Baker, the owner out of Chester, Maryland. We look into turn number 1. Dennis Wright in front, but Jordan Gary Shalvent is tightening it up, and Wright's lead is going away.
Oh my goodness, he's right there. He has the shorter track route, and he looks like he's going to catch him, and he does. Oh, it's deck to deck almost there for first place. Shalvent on the inside, and he has taken the lead. Oh, he passes right there, but Wright is not going away, but Shalvent has suddenly made up the ground as they head into turn number 2. They're going to be looking for the white flag, Jeff.
the retired American Airlines pilot flying high on the water. Gary Shalvin, white flag is displayed. Shalvin in front out of Jackson, Michigan. 1 1/4 miles to victory in Flyboy. Dennis Wright had the lead, but now in second in Bo's back. Bobby King running in third in the LDC Diego's Mexican Grill. Jimmy King trails at River City Printing. Back into turn number 1. Jordan, I thought Shalvin slowed, and he is slowing. Gary Shalvin slowing some. Now here's Dennis Wright in second, but now Shalvin begin to pick the pace back up.
He does, and he just has to hold on for about another half a lap. But right there is Wright. He's trying to catch him on this backstretch, but Shalvin has the shorter track around. Got about a rooster tail lead on Wright, and there's going to have to be a big push, Jeff, but they're going to be looking for the checkered flag as they come here.
Final turn, final lap, the blue and yellow Flyboy. Gary Shalvin sees the checkered flag in hand. It waves. Here's your winner of Rivertown Pizza Pro Light 1A. It's Gary Shalvin and Flyboy.
Second place to the E54 Bo's back, driven by Dennis Wright. And again, both the E242 Bobby King, the Miss LDC Construction presents Diego's Mexican Grill, and the E2 River City Printing, driven by Jimmy King. They were penalized by 1 minute, and it looks like, Jeff, that the 2 has passed the 242 as they come down here to see who's going to get third place.
Well, they actually finished the other time around, Jordan. They'll get that 1 minute penalty on elapsed time. So Bobby King will get the third spot in LDC Construction, presents Diego's Mexican Grill. And Jimmy King will get fourth in the River City Printing. No problem, my friend. It's just a warm-up for the 2 big days tomorrow and Sunday.
Exactly, it is. It's give me a minute. I got to learn from the 2 best that are standing here underneath the tent. So it's got to take me a minute there. Man, what a fun race to start, though, for the Pro Lights. Again, unfortunate for the 2 penalties, but congratulations to Gary Shalvin. He gets first place points, 400 points, heading into day number 2 tomorrow. That is so great to see out of that. He will be smiling as they head to day number 2 of the Madison Regatta tomorrow.
So unofficially, your winner, Gary Shalvin in Flyboy. Second place to Dennis Wright in Bo's back. Third to Bobby King. Miss LDC Construction presents Diego's Mexican Grill. And fourth place to Jimmy King and River City Printing. It did not start. We'll go to Carl Adams in Maximum Racing. The sun reappears here in the Ohio River Valley. Jordan Bear, you get a chance to take a break.
Yes, I do. But you know what? I'm excited, though, because I'm going to be sitting back and I'm going to be listening to you and Brad take over as coming up here, it looks like in a little over 10 minutes, we're going to have H1 Unlimited qualifying. I'm going to hand the microphone back to my dear friend Brad Luce, and I'm going to let you and Brad do your thing as we get ready for H1 qualifying.
Jordan, don't leave just yet. I thoroughly enjoyed your level of excitement, and that was a great call. And if you're like me, man, that's fun.
It is so much fun. And, you know, we were talking earlier about how much fun the races were last week, especially for the Pro Lights. I mean, by 10 feet was the first place was decided last week. You know, unfortunate about the penalties, but we tell you what, that's racing. That's what the fans are here to see. We got 2 more full days of this and still 2 more races to go.
Yeah, and you talk about the penalties, too bad. You know what? I still kept watching the King family out front. That was great racing.
It really is, and, you know, it's so cool to see a sport where you see, you know, parents and children get involved in this. You know, you see Greg and Jerry Hop, and you see so many others get involved, and I'm so happy to see Jimmy King and his son take over.
Well, thank you very much. Jean Theoret, how are you? We got Jean Theoret up here. Always good to have you back at a boat race.
It's good to be here. Nice sun, nice weather, nice racing.
Yeah.
Good people.
Good people, that's what it's all about, right?
Nice to see you guys.
Oh, man, Jean Theoret knows a little bit about racing. Okay, we got a little excited there. Haven't seen him since San Diego, and we had a wonderful time down there. Wow, Jeff. That was some terrific. Go ahead. What do you got?
You mentioned that last week about Jean Theoret. We said he can show up at any moment. Wow, you're on it again.
I'm on it again. I'm on it again. He can show up at any time. You just never do know. Oh, Jeff, I'm exhausted, and I didn't even call that race. That was fun.
That was fun, and boy, father and son kind of keying on each other. They were across the line. They were gun jumpers. But, Brad, that might be the first career heat win for Gary Shalvant in the Flyboy. And our retired American Airlines pilot, relatively new to hydroplane racing, if that is his first heat win, he's happy.
He's going to be very happy, and I actually did not know that. I suspected it. I wanted to ask you that question, so thanks for leading right into it. However, when we always talk about boats and who wins the heat and a penalty here or something going on there, we've all said it 1,000 times, Jeff. You don't necessarily have to be the fastest boat on the water, but it sure helps if you're legal. If you're not legal, you can be the quickest boat in the planet. Not going to do you a lot of good.
That's what makes hydroplane racing so unique. You need to be at this line at full throttle, but you cannot jump the gun. That was a perfect example there. Those boats couldn't have been no more than 10, 15 foot across the line.
No, and Dad said, "Doggone it, kid, I'm not going to let you get the jump on me." And the kid kind of said the same thing about Dad, and look what happened. They both jumped. But while you guys were doing a great job calling the two-boat duel that was for first and second place, your race for third was a dandy.
That was fun, and boy, I thought Dennis Wright would hang on and maybe get that first heat win for Wheeler Baker. Dennis, of course, primarily drives in 2.5 stock in the Alvey signs, but he's just getting used to Wheeler's boat, subbing for Scott Litticoat this weekend. But Gary Shalvant picks up the win in Rivertown Pizza Pro Light Heat 1A. I see some big pups being put in the water. What are those?
Those would be the world's fastest closed course race boats. The H1 Unlimited hydroplanes. The first boat in the water is the U11. Understanding is we're going to refer to the boat again this week as the Miss Colleen. Jamie Nielsen will be behind the wheel. So our boats are going to come out. This is going to be the beginning of our qualification session. And our boats are going to come out and qualify in reverse order of current national high points. So in reverse order, our current national high point standings are in 5th place, the U11, the Miss Colleen. The boat will be driven by Jamie Nielsen. It is owned by Scott and Shannon Rainey out of Cle Elum, Washington. Next up on the list will be the U8, the Miss Tri-Cities. The boat is owned by Daryl and Vanessa Strong out of the Tri-Cities, Washington as well. The boat is driven by J. Michael Kelly. Next up on our qualifying ladder is the U91. The boat is owned by you, the citizens of Madison, Indiana. It is the second of 2 boats the citizens of Madison have on the water this weekend. This one, the absolutely gorgeous black and gold. It is the Goodman Real Estate. Jeff Bernard out of Kent, Washington will handle the driving duties. Next up on the ladder would be the U40. The Beacon Plumbing, driven by Dave Vilwalk. The boat owned by Kelly and Sharon Stocklin out of Snohomish, Washington, which is just north of Seattle. Unfortunately, they suffered the damage to the boat when they hit something in the water earlier this morning. They have been forced to withdraw from the event based on that damage, and a tough break for Dave Vilwalk in the U40, the Beacon Plumbing. Next up on the ladder, and he just walked by here a moment ago, waved at us, Corey Peabody will come out on the race course driving the U9, the Lynx Healthcare. The boat, again, owned by Daryl and Vanessa Strong. This is the second of the Strong entry stables. Also the boat that won last weekend and is now our defending Gold Cup champion. That's a moniker they can say all year long, and it will never, ever get old. And then I think everybody here in town, Jeff Ayler, knows the boat that's going to come out last, or at least the last one on the qualification ladder. It is the second boat, depending on how you want to count them. The second one we're going to mention here, the U1, the Miss Homestreet. The Miss Homestreet, owned by the citizens of Madison, Indiana. It is driven by Jimmy Shane. Jimmy now hails from San Antonio, Texas. So the 11 will come first, then it's the 8, the 91, the 9, and the 1. The 11 is in the water with Jamie Nielsen behind the wheel. They'll have an opportunity to come out on the race course and take 3 laps. It was discussed at the drivers' meeting this morning. The drivers will be put on the clock the first time they come across the start-finish line. So, Jeff, that was discussed this morning. The first time they come by start-finish, they will be put on the clock. They will then get a green, white checker. They'll have 3 laps. They will take the fastest of the 3 laps as their qualification speed. As we say that, the lid is dropped on the beautiful chartreuse and royal blue of the U11 to Miss Colleen, Jamie Nielsen.
This is a 1-hour qualifying session for H1 Unlimited. Brad, boats can go out more than once to improve their time, but it has to be done quick and feverishly in that 60-minute bracket.
Yeah, they may. There is a potential there that we may get some additional time should we run out of it here. But you're right, and the boats are on the ladder in the order we talked about them. The 11, the 8, the 91, the 9, and the 1. Second time through the ladder, then they can come out when they are ready, and it is who wants to be ready first. But Jamie Nielsen is in the cockpit. The lid is down. I'm looking up for a green flag. I can't see it yet, but I also don't see a black one, so I think we're close. It must be green. It is. The nose is pointed out. Gorgeous looking hydroplane, Jeff Ayler. The former Budweiser T4. U11, Miss Colleen, Jamie Nielsen.
We saw a test lap earlier today of the Miss Colleen, the U11, at a little over 144 miles per hour. You spoke to Scott Rainey, the co-owner and chief wrench on the public address system here. Scott was happy. He understands it needs some more boat speed, but Brad, they're taking it baby steps at a time on the progression, and I think the progression has moved up to the next level. I think this boat could go well over 144. We'll find out very shortly.
Yeah, we're going to find out real quick, and certainly 150 is within the realm of capabilities for this boat. And if you said that to Scott Rainey, he'd probably look at you with a bit of a cross eye there. He'd think the boat would be able to go much quicker than that. And if anybody can find the speed in the boat, it is Scott Rainey. Kind of tends to know his way around these boats pretty well.
Jamie, an APBA Hall of Champion inductee, Brad, in the year 2000 and 2002. Jamie was a dynamite outboard pilot before transferring to hydroplanes. He's taken to the hydroplane division in fine fashion. A one-time draftee in the Major League Baseball draft for the Kansas City Royals. And Brad, he still holds many records at Central Washington University in Ellensburg, where he played college baseball, but boat racing was in the blood. And here he is at the 2022 Madison Regatta. Jamie Nielsen on the clock. U11 Miss Colleen, campaigned by the Unlimited Racing Group, which is Scott and Shannon Rainey. Into turn number 1, our first boat in qualifying in Madison.
Off the lower end of the race course, here's that acceleration that you talked about earlier, Jeff Ayler. Again, the basics, you need to turn a lap north of 130 miles an hour to officially qualify. Needless to say, every boat here can do that without any difficulty. And an added element of our qualifying period here today, and should we extend it at all, but an added element is your qualification speed is going to determine your seeding for the 2-boat shootouts that we're going to have during the power hour tomorrow. So we'll keep an eye on that and find out who is going to be running against whom. Great looking shot there, looking right underneath the U11 of Miss Colleen and Jamie Nielsen.
Jamie married to his wife, Jessica. They have 2 children, Claire, 7 years of age, and Crew, nearly 2, spelled C-R-U-E, as his papa works back into turn number 1. You saw the rough water there, which is so synonymous here in Madison. Off the turn, Brad will get a lap time here. Tana Morissette, our on-site engineer, is jotting it down with the Sharpie on the easel board, 144.339 miles per hour, 144.339.
You mentioned son Crew, who was born and is almost 2 years old. How about this? If you're in a racing family, Jeff Ayler, every weekend in the Pacific Northwest on the first weekend of August, you get to celebrate not only your birthday, but it's also Seafair Week in Seattle.
Doesn't get better than that when you live in the Seattle area. Birthdays and hydroplanes on Lake Washington. They'll return this year for the Home Street Bank Cup at Seafair the first weekend of August on Lake Washington. Nice boat ride as he crosses the start-finish line buoy the second of 3 times around. Now working his final time around, Jamie Nielsen, U11, Miss Colleen. Brad, I like the boat progression. I like the speed.
Yeah, I like the boat on this lap, especially down through the lower corner this time. He looks stronger. He upped his speed from lap 1 to lap 2 by about a mile an hour. He's up to 145.393 miles an hour. Jeff, he goes up underneath the Milton-Madison Bridge. He's got about a third of a lap to go. Let's see if we can crack that 150 mark. I know they would like to.
Nielsen, a financial analyst for the U.S. Navy in Bremerton, Washington, began racing J-Stock outboard hydroplanes at the year 12 years of age, 15-time outboard hydroplane national champion. Along the Indiana shoreline, this will complete his qualification run. In the U11, Miss Colleen, Brad, I think he was a little wider this time, maybe some more oomph and RPMs off turn number 2. Can he go above 145.393?
We're about to find out, and while we're awaiting that time, the last little note we'll throw in about Jamie Nielsen. He has a quotation down there that I always like to say, work so hard in your life that someday your signature is called an autograph. I always like that out of the young man. He did increase, albeit just a skosh, which was a word we were using a bunch last weekend. Fast lap was the third one, 145.466. So 145.466 for Jamie Nielsen. And just like that, we've got a boat qualified for our racing here this weekend. It appears as though from looking at the front of the boat as it came in, looks like we got a bullnose change on the left side there. Look off the left side of the cockpit there, Jeff.
Little change, and with that change, not painted, but that's okay. If it can improve speed, we can put some chartreuse on it later.
Absolutely, and what they're trying to do by that, it's the leading edge on the ram wing of the boat itself, and they're trying to control how much air gets underneath the boat, or in some cases how much doesn't. They may want more, they may want less. I tended to like the boat ride on that one. I think it was a good one. Jamie Nielsen, our first qualifier for the 2022 Indiana Governor's Cup, with a speed just north of 145.466 to be exact. Jeff, who's up next?
Up next will be the U8 Miss Tri-Cities, driven by 43-year-old J. Michael Kelly out of Bonnie Lake, Washington. The boat owners, Daryl and Vanessa Strong. J. Michael, a 2-time winner here in Madison in 2014 and 2015 aboard the U5 Graham Trucking. J. Michael, the 2016 APBA Gold Cup champion. Also, we've mentioned he is a grade school classmate of his teammate, Corey Peabody. J. Mike Brad began racing outboard hydroplanes at the ripe old age of 9.
Of 9. I like the way you say that. And actually, if you were to go up and down the beach, you'd find that's a pretty common number amongst these guys. And when they all got started, that's when they're old enough to finally strap on the helmet, grab a hold of the wheel, and go as fast as they can and turn left.
Brad, you've done a phenomenal job with prepping for the H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Series. Kelly's 13 wins puts him 14th on the all-time win list. 2 victories behind the legendary Chuck Thompson. Of course, we lost Chuck in 1966 at Detroit in the Smirnoff accident. But when you start comparing yourself to drivers like Chuck Thompson, you're it.
Yeah, you really are. And there may be a lot of people here who look at that and go, Chuck who? Chuck Thompson. The man in the 50s was synonymous with Detroit boat racing and a boat called the Miss Pepsi. And oh boy, was he in the thick of things when it came time for that 1956 Gold Cup on the Detroit River. He was in the middle of it, and that was a very controversial but also a very, very famous race. And Chuck Thompson was something special. You mentioned we lost him. He's one of the handful of drivers that gave their lives at this sport. things are a lot different now, Jeff. It's much safer with the enclosed canopies, but we still remember guys like Chuck.
You're better at this than I am, but Chuck Thompson, didn't he drive a Miss Detroit and short circuit?
He did. And when
Thompson
he drove,
Electric Company.
Yes, Thompson Electric, and when he owned the Miss Detroit and the short circuit, he owned that boat. He was not only the driver, he was the owner. Super guy. And
Jeff Ayler and Brad Luce, I'm going to interrupt you both real quick. I'm here with Jamie Nielsen, who just got done with his first qualifying run. First of all, Jamie, how's the Ohio River?
Oh, it's great. I mean, I always love coming back here to Madison to race in front of these great fans. And to be honest, this is the best conditions, water conditions I've seen probably in 5-6 years since I've started coming here. So, you know, the water level's down, the current is down, which I think improves the water, lets the waves dissipate a little bit. And I love it.
You know, you're first down on qualifying, and, you know, the boat really looked like the speed looks really good. You got better each lap. Kind of what are some of the things you want to do as the weekend goes along, as racing gets started tomorrow?
Go faster.
Go faster? Are you going to work on some things? Are there anything like turn-wise? Is there any turns in particular you want? Do you want an inside lane here? Because sometimes that lane one here can be tricky.
Oh yeah. There's a lot of strategy that goes into racing here in Madison that doesn't anywhere else. But you know, we got a lot of things we can improve on the boat to go faster. We're just kind of scratching the surface right now, we feel like. So we're looking forward to getting better all weekend and excited to where we can finish off on Sunday afternoon.
You planning on going back out today or not?
I got to get with Scott and check in the truck, but I think there's a good chance you'll probably see the U11 Miss Colleen out there later today.
Well, it's a beautiful looking boat as always. Jamie, I wish you best of luck, my friend, okay?
Hey, thanks a lot.
Thank you very much, Jamie Nielsen. First up on qualifying. Jeff Ayler, Brad Luce, back to you guys.
Great work, Jordan Bear, catching Jamie Nielsen as he stepped right off the deck of his hydroplane. Down there right in the thick of things. Jordan Bear's right where it's all happening, Jeff Ayler. We sit up here in the cushy seat, but I tell you what, there's part of me that says he's right where I'd like to be.
That is your gig at the Hapo Columbia Cup, working for 610 KONA. Brad does the majority of the pit interviews and has the race call into turn number 1 through the apex, and then you hand it over to the reporter on the back chute. And boy, there's a beautiful shot from our drone in the infield if you're watching online at H1 Unlimited through YouTube. Very unique shot. Next boat out, the U8 Miss Tri-Cities, the owners, Daryl and Vanessa Strong. Brad, you were there on the call last year at the Southern Cup. You kind of brought old Raggedy in. I was just down to visit. And Daryl and Vanessa Strong in their first ever unlimited race won last year's Southern Cup. And they've kind of got a knack at this boat racing as owners. They win, win, win.
They do. They really do. And what they've done, and I think it's important that it be said, is that what Daryl and Vanessa Strong have done by becoming owners and putting both the U8 and the U9 on the water, they have forced every other team to up their game. Everybody has to run better this year than they did last year, and it's because of these guys. And Daryl said something to me in the Tri-Cities when I asked him, you had such a great season last year, what do you do to improve upon it? And he said, Brad, we could actually run better, faster, stronger all year long and not win a race. And it's a true statement.
J. Michael Kelly on the clock, and there's a boat ride for you. U8 Miss Tri-Cities. Brad, I compare this team to the Trackhouse team on the NASCAR circuit. Ross Chastain and Daniel Suarez. That team works together just like the 8 and the 9. Crew members intertwine from boat to boat. They work together.
Yeah, they certainly do. Back to the boat ride on J. Michael Kelly. That time when he approached the start-finish line, Jeff, you could see underneath the sponsons. You could also see underneath the transom of that boat. You were talking about it seemed to be sitting maybe a little bit low in the water on the rear end. Not that time. He was rolling.
Not that time, and we're going to see if he can get above 150 miles per hour the first time this weekend. J. Mike is your defending drivers champion, the H1 National High Point Drivers Championship. 3-time winner in Seattle. Decorated driver, outboard, inboard, unlimited, and that is just absolutely gorgeous. It's not Dancing with the Stars, but it's dancing on the water, and that is a picture-perfect boat ride back into turn number 1. Worth the price of admission to see this craft run on a Friday afternoon in Madison.
Yeah, he's going to like it too. 151.224 miles an hour. Jeff, I don't know that I've ever been able to look underneath the transom of the boat as it goes by a side profile. You could actually see the drive shaft underneath that boat. That was amazing. And he's already up at the top end just that quick. First lap, 151.224. That's their quickest lap of the weekend, maybe their best lap of the season so far. They're up and running, and here he comes.
Looking sharp. J. Michael married to his wife Angela. They have 3 sons, Brennan, Carson, and Asher. And here's this boat ride once again. I like it. Another lap on the clock, and U8 missed Tri-Cities. J. Michael Kelly, first time around, 151.224 miles per hour. Working through turn 1 nicely. Mr. Loose off the turn. Can he get the 152?
He's off the pace just a skosh. He's at 151.105. 151.105. He's already halfway up the backstretch, headed toward the Milton-Madison Bridge. He'll go underneath that famous landmark here on the Ohio River. Water got a little soupy out here, Jeff, for a while, but man, it is good right now. And Kelly trying to take advantage of it, see how wide he goes, going out to about lane number 4. He likes that. Here he comes. This will be the completion of lap number 3. Jeff Ayler, bring him down and bring him across.
J. Michael's first career win in H1 Unlimited was at the 2009 UIM World Championship in Doha, Qatar. This run is complete. Flies it across the start-finish line buoy. That was a quick 3 times around this 2.5-mile course for J. Michael Kelly in the U8 Miss Tri-Cities. We're awaiting a time. And very consistent, but that was the fastest one at 151.301 miles per hour. 151.301, but Brad Luce. They're over 150. Now they're working on the speed. They're working on the handling. It's getting better.
It's getting a lot better. I think they've got to be really, really happy with that. Now we're getting into the colored kettle corn being delivered to Jeff Ayler. That's a pretty good-sized mud puddle you stepped in there, Mr. Ayler. You got all kinds of food.
Well, we've done it before. We'll do it Saturday and Sunday.
There we go. J. Michael Kelly back to the dock in the Miss Tri-Cities as we get a little bit of a cooling breeze coming up our way. It feels wonderful. And just closing statements here about the U8, the Miss Tri-Cities. It is not called the Miss Tri-Cities simply because Daryl and Vanessa are from the Tri-Cities, and we've had many boats that have been named after cities and metropolitan areas, but this is actually sponsored by Tri-Cities businesses, and it includes a rather large charity component, the Royal Family Kids Camp and the Miss Tri-Cities Scholarship Program. Now being a resident of the Tri-Cities, I can tell you that the Miss Tri-Cities Scholarship Program and that entire pageant, that's something special in the Tri-Cities. It happens right before we go racing in the Columbia Cup. That's coming up here in about another month.
That will be our next stop on the H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Series, the Happel Columbia Cup in Tri-Cities, Washington. And Brad, what you like on Friday out there toward the end of the day is the Dash for Cash.
I love the Dash for Cash. And we didn't get to do it last year because we got introduced to something in the Pacific Northwest known as sago pondweed. And those are the 3 words that strike fear into all hydroplane racing drivers. Jeff, on 2 occasions last year on Friday in the Tri-Cities, we had 7 H1 Unlimiteds laying dockside, ready to go out on the water. They could never get the course cleared enough. They picked them back out both times, and we never got a sponson wet on Friday.
Sago pondweed, I thought maybe that was a unusual one-time thing, but it does happen quite often out in the Columbia River, I understand.
Yeah, apparently it does, and it apparently snuck up on a lot of people. They had a rather substantial drop in the level of the Columbia just before we were scheduled to go racing, and it exposed a bunch of the wonderful weed. And I honestly can tell you that I went to dinner on Friday night with a group of people, including our statistician, producer, executive trainer, everything going on here, Tana Morissette. And I remember turning to him and saying, I don't think we're racing. I think we're done. I didn't see any way that they could get that water cleaned up. And you want to talk about a community coming together. It was amazing what they did to get that out.
It was a phenomenal job. And Brad, while we got a moment, I made a mistake at Guntersville last week. Jeff Bernard coming up, driving for Miss Madison Racing in the Goodman Real Estate. He is part of the Weber Racing family. Jeff is a 4th generation, but now we have a 5th generation driver in the Weber family. Haley Ray, out in the Pacific Northwest, just began her 1.5 stock racing career, so the Weber legacy continues on, and Jeff 4th in line, and Haley Ray doing a wonderful job out in Region 10 of APBA.
Yes, she is, and as we talked earlier, this next generation of boat racers is happening, and it's happening right before our eyes and very quickly. They're inspecting the bottom on the U9, the Lynx Healthcare, and it's tough to see on the monitor here if there's anything that they don't particularly like. However, the boat has not yet been dropped into the water. They are not next on the ladder, so it doesn't seem to be where anybody's thrashing, and the boat is continuing to be dropped into the water, so I don't think we have an issue there with the 9. Next up on our ladder is the U91, and wherever our intrepid reporter Jordan Bear might be, if you run across a guy named J. Michael Kelly, I'd be real anxious to hear what he has to say, and I think he's standing very close to Kelly down there. Kelly doing a little debrief with his crew. Jump in whenever you've got him, Jordan.
Brad, our H1 Camber crew delivering wonderful pictures here at day number 1 of 3 of the 2022 Madison Regatta. Phenomenal video, beautiful drone shots, and it's been a good day, day number 1 of 3 of activity here at the 2022 Madison Regatta, as we're getting a look at the Goodman Real Estate, the U91. Jeff Bernard will be our next boat out on the water in unlimited hydroplane qualifying.
Brad Luce and Jeff Taylor, we're going to update you guys real quick. I have J. Michael Kelly, driver of the U8 Miss Tri-Cities. Mike, this river at times can be very, very unforgiving, but looks to be almost perfect condition today.
Yeah, no, it's, we love coming to Madison. Last year ate us up pretty good, hurt the boat, hurt myself. But man, today, I got my confidence back. Extremely happy with our boat ride. Strong Racing, Miss Tri-Cities, 8 guys. They've worked hard. Last weekend, I haven't seen a harder working group of guys. We had both 8 and 9 on my boat all weekend long, trying to find speed. We still have a ways to go, but we're working there. We're getting there, and for me, that was a successful run. You always want to go faster, but we'll get there.
It's this course, obviously, you go up against a lot of things. Of course, the fans here, they obviously know who the favorite is here. That's a tough boat. Plus, you have your teammate, Corey. Jamie Nielsen's boat looks really, really good as well. Obviously, unfortunate what happened with Dave as well. So, and also, I forgot about Jeff Bernard in the 91. You look at this, you got to like your chances up against this field running for the Governor's Cup come Sunday.
Yeah, no, right now, you probably have the best group of boats that we've had in a very long time. Any one of us could go out there and win. That's very unfortunate for the 40 guys. They were fast, so that hurts us, for just the fans really. But I think no matter what, they got some fast boats, or there's gonna be some deck-to-deck racing, and the home street is fast, and we're all aiming to go faster. So my teammate Corey won the Gold Cup last week, and he ran fast all weekend long, and we're hoping to catch up to those guys. Great group of boats, great crews up and down this shoreline, and at the end of the day, we just want to go out and put on a great show for all these fans.
Awesome. Mike, I wish you the best luck, my friend, and I'll talk to you later, okay?
Thank you.
Brad Luce, Jeff Taylor, out on the water. Go.
Thank you, Jordan Bear, with J. Michael Kelly, driver of the U8 Miss Tri-Cities. Miss Madison fans, your second entry is on the water, the gold and black U91. Miss Goodman Real Estate, Jeff Bernard, 38 years of age, drives out of Kent, Washington. Jeff married to his wife, Christabel. 2 daughters, the oldest Blakely, the youngest Rylan, and the whole family is on site. And that little Rylan, she's a spark plug.
Oh, she is a spark plug, and you can have a good conversation with Christabel about that one. She'll give you an earful. That is a handful and a great kid and a great family. Good-looking boat ride coming down the front straightaway. Jeff Bernard, the U91, the Goodman Real Estate. Put him on a clock, Jeff.
Miss Goodman Real Estate, past the start-finish line buoy. Jeff works quickly into the west turn, turn number 1. Here on the Wild Bill Cantrell Memorial Racecourse, puts it on the hook, exits the turn, waves to the fans along the shoreline in Trimble County, Kentucky, in Milton, Kentucky on the back straightaway. Beautiful boat, dynamite paint job by Jimmy Labrie. Jimmy, of course, Brad, we know, lives in Brewster, Washington, next to Pateras. Jimmy does a lot of work during the winter painting boats, trucks, trailers. He's a craftsman.
You need a paint job. Jimmy Labrie is the guy to get a hold of. You'll die laughing talking to him, but he'll paint it and it'll be done right. Jeff Bernard off the top end of the race course in one of the most famous hydroplanes in the history of the sport. It is the 3rd winningest hull in the history of the sport. It has 25 wins in 64 races. Jeff Bernard flies it across the start-finish line. Great sight there as he flies almost underneath the U-Tri-Cities, or the U8 Miss Tri-Cities, hanging on a hook right in front of us. But just like that, Jeff, he's already through that lower corner.
Jeff with 3 career wins in the H1 Unlimited Series. The first here was in 2008 at the Indiana Governor's Cup, driving the formulaboats.com. First lap, 146.797 miles per hour. 146.797. There's more left.
Oh, there's a lot more left than that one. That's the first time around. Jeff is safely in the show here. Look at that big wall of water, nice and smooth off that skid fin on the trailing edge of that left side sponson. Now Jeff will straighten it out. Come down underneath the famous Milton-Madison Bridge. You see the shadow of the bridge on that white rooster tail. For our new fans, look at the front of the boat. You can look right underneath it. He's running on that cushion of air. One of the most consistent hydroplanes we've ever had, Jeff Ayler. This one's just a sweetheart to drive. Everybody that's ever been behind the wheel says the same thing about it, and Bernard likes it, and he's going to squeeze as much out of it as he can.
This is the original Sharkey 2007 Oberto with Steve Navid driving. Jeff full-time as an aircraft structures mechanic at Boeing outside Seattle, just a touch quicker. 146.799 miles per hour, 146.799. Consistent. Can he get above 146, Brad, the final time around?
We are about to find out because he's already off the top end of the race course. Pretty consistent on his line around the race course, too. He's been sliding out to about lane number 4. He's underneath the bridge. Final time across start finish for Jeff Bernard, driving a U91 to Goodman Real Estate.
And this qualification run for Jeff Bernard has been completed. They'll take the quickest of the 3 times around. U91, Goodman Real Estate. Tana jotting down the time. Slower, 144.627 miles per hour. 144.627. So Brad, they'll take the best at 146.799 miles per hour. And our online viewers watching at H1 Unlimited via YouTube, Brad, the camera shots are absolutely fabulous here, but look at these improved graphics with our H1 Unlimited video team. They're on it.
They are on it, and we've got a lot of them working right here behind us. A lot of them are working out on the dock. We see the drone shots. We see the shots that are taken up above us here on the pit tower, but they are dramatic, and you just hit the nail on the head. You said They're better. They're better than they were last week. They're better than they were last year. They get better every single time that we do this because nobody's happy with what we're putting out. They want to always improvement, and we can do better. Tana, is that official now? We are being told that the U11, the Miss Colleen, has cleared tech inspection. The same can apparently not be said for the U8, the Miss Tri-Cities. Unfortunately, J. Michael Kelly's ride apparently incurred an N2 violation. Now, I'm going to assume we've got some new fans here, and unless you want to jump in on this one, Jeff, I'll step in the mud puddle. But the N2 violation, in very simple terms, the N2 is the output shaft of the turbine motor, and it has a factory set 100% rating of the RPM. You can only exceed 100% of the rating of that N2 RPM by such an amount and for so many seconds, and it's not very long, and I'm not going to try and quote it, but the bottom line is an N2 violation, you're spinning the output shaft of the motor too fast for too long.
I always compare it to IndyCar racing, the push to pass.
Yep.
You can kind of flirt with the rules a little bit to a point.
You can flirt.
You can flirt with them, but once you exceed that, that's a no-no. That's where those penalties come into effect. On the track, the U9, Lynx Healthcare, Corey Peabody, the driver, out of Kent, Washington. The owners of the boat, Daryl and Vanessa Strong, out of Tri-Cities. Corey married to his wife, Stacy. Brad, they have 3 children. Daughter Riley at 18 years of age, Leighton, age 11, and son Race at age 9. And I like how they spell race.
I like that
R-A-Y-C-E, Y in between, race.
I like it.
I like it.
Corey and Stacy, they would have that absolutely. Here comes the young man coming down. We'll put him on the clock first time across. Corey Peabody, big winner last weekend. I don't know if he's come off his cloud yet, but I got a hunch he has. He's a professional racer. He knows what he's doing. Last week was last week. You got to put it in the rearview mirror and go out and race again.
Corey on the clock, U9 Lynx Healthcare. His first race as a driver in H1 Unlimited, 2016 at the APBA Gold Cup, driving for Ted Porter. And the U57 Spirit of Detroit. Brad, you and I were there that year, and Corey's progression keeps getting better and better and better as a driver, more comfortable, and it's showing right now in 2022. He's off to a fabulous start.
He is indeed top end of the race course. Nice, smooth, big wall of water off of that skid fin. And that means he's getting through the corner nice and smooth. He's not hopping, he's not jumping, getting a good boat ride through the corner. Now he's trying to fly the boat, get air underneath it, touch the water as little as possible. Lynx Healthcare, the U9 Corey Peabody.
Lap number 1 complete, 2 more to go. U9 Lynx Healthcare. Corey, Brad, was the only pilot last year in the H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Series to hit the podium at every H1 Unlimited event. Nice turn, great acceleration off the corner. We saw that last weekend at Guntersville with this craft, and the first lap speed, 148.807 miles per hour, 148.807.
That's a good speed for Corey, but he wants to be north of that 150 mile an hour mark. And I want you to say again, Jeff, what you were just talking about, Corey Peabody hitting the podium at every H1 event that we ran last year. That's a big deal.
That was a big deal, and it was hard work to hit the podium last year at all those events on the H1 series. White flag displayed, 2 complete, 1 more to go here in qualifying for Corey Peabody and U9 Lynx Healthcare. Brad, you spoke to PR Representative Jim Simpson with Strong Racing. I understand the contingent with Lynx Healthcare had a huge watch party last weekend. They were tickled.
Yeah, that's what I was told. They had a watch party, and needless to say, they were tickled. First race as a sponsor, boom, your name is on the APBA Gold Cup. And you know what? they can never take it off.
Nope.
It's there forever. So we hope they're listening again. If they are, Lynx Healthcare, thank you for your participation. Corey's going to try and do it again. Let's take a look at that second lap. Jeff, they're going to like it, 152.181 miles an hour.
Things heating up in the 9 camp. Lynx Healthcare, Corey Peabody completes his third lap on the clock. In U9, Lynx Healthcare, boat ran here last year as Pinnacle Peak Consulting. We'll get a time here on lap number 3, but this boat, no doubt, one of your contenders in the showdown format tomorrow and the Indiana Governor's Cup on Sunday. That's his fastest lap of the 3, 152.501 miles per hour, 152.501 for Lynx Healthcare. No pun intended. No need to see the doctor.
No need to see the doctor right now. I'd take that boat, put it on the trailer, and go, I like it.
Jeff, Bradley, I'm going to interrupt both of you here as Corey Peabody and the U8 Lynx Healthcare comes in. I have the driver of the U91, ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Bernard, one of the 2 Miss Madison teams here. Jeff, first of all, it's the Ohio River. This river can be tricky, but how'd it go for you?
It's going good. The boat ride's good. We're for some reason struggling on speed. Still trying to look for it. Made some adjustments, me in the cockpit and how we do things, and I thought I did a good job that last time, and the speed's just not showing it. So Goodman Real Estate guys are gonna go look at some data and see if we can get some speed out for this next round of qualifying. Just kind of frustrated. I was expecting over 150 there, and thought I made the right changes inside the boat like we talked about, and I don't know, we're still short.
You know, the straightaways are pretty long here, and the turns can be sharp. You said turn 1 actually wasn't too bad for you, which is the one that a lot of times gets people here. You said turn 2, there were some issues. Is it kind of rough down in turn 2 this year?
Well, it was just my first lap. I had some holes down in turn 2 that got first lap, but the first lap ended up being my best one. So I felt them in the boat, but after that, I think both turns were pretty good. Earlier in the GP, down in turn 1 was pretty hairy and up the backstretch. But water's good now. Should see a really good qualifying speed here in a minute, I think.
So you're going to go back out there?
Yeah, we'll be out there, but I was talking about my teammate in Home Street. Look out.
Oh, well, yeah, there's that too. Well, I know we'll be talking soon. Thank you so much, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jeff Bernard, ladies and gentlemen. Brad Luce, Jeff Taylor, back to you.
Thank you, Jordan Bear, with Miss Madison Racing pilot Jeff Bernard. Speaking of Miss Madison Racing, the second entry on the water, the Home Street blue and white Miss Home Street, Jimmy Shane on the track in qualifying here in the H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Series at the 2022 Madison Regatta. Jimmy in the house, his sons Colton and Hudson are in the house. They're getting older, they're getting taller, and Brad, they're about to go J Hydro racing, I think, very, very soon.
They are indeed, and I got to interview Jimmy Shane down in Guntersville, and I turned around to give him a trophy, and there was Colton and Hudson standing there. I dropped down a level and had a talk with the young men.
They were hot. They need to put T-shirts back on.
Quick comment here, Madison, Indiana, about this boat. I'm just going to say 2 words. Buckle up, Jeff. Here we go.
Jimmy Shane on the clock. U1. Miss Home Street works it into turn number 1 here on the Wild Bill Cantrell Memorial Racecourse. Shane's 8th season as the pilot for Miss Madison Racing. 20 career victories, 7th on the all-time list. 2 more victories. Jimmy will tie the late Bill Cantrell and Jim Cropfeld on the all-time career drivers win list. Brad, when you're in with Cantrell and Cropfeld, that's tall stuff.
Yeah, that's really saying something. We were talking about Chuck Thompson earlier, but Cantrell and Crappie, wow, you're in some pretty fine company. Going out pretty wide here, about lane 4.5, almost lane 5. Here he comes. Jimmy Shane will get his first lap speed, but I think it's safe to say he's over $1:30.
well in doubt, well over 130 as he completes his first lap of 3 in qualifying here at the 2022 Madison Regatta. Slams it back into turn number 1. Jimmy Shane, Miss Home Street. Jimmy's full-time position is with Blue Origin. Now Jimmy hails out of San Antonio, Texas, lap number 1, 154.793 miles per hour, 154.793.
Quick sidebar to throw in here, our U91, the other Madison boat entry, the Goodman Real Estate, they have cleared tech, so they are clean. Their time will stand. Jeff Bernard, third on our list right now, 146.7. Shane, he's sitting atop the list at 154.7. Has he got more, Jeff?
Shane will get the white flag and accepts it now. Nice boat ride across the start-finish line buoy. Boat campaign by Miss Madison Racing. 2022 marks 61 years of hydroplane racing for Miss Madison Incorporated. Shane off the turn, and Brad, this is the key of this boat. Off the turns, the acceleration, that's what makes it so fast, and it's faster, 156.857 miles per hour, 156.857.
Jeff, that's called sending a message. That is sending a message that they've got a fast boat. They are quick on this race course, and they're ready to go. He's going to come down and put his third one in the books. As soon as we do, we're going to throw it down to our Jordan Bear, who looks like he's standing by with Corey Peabody down there. We'll get with him in a moment. Right now, it's our top qualifiers, the U1, the Miss Home Street, and Jimmy Shane.
Checkered flag waving. Jimmy Shane's qualification run is complete. Can he get above 156.857 miles per hour? Slowing down in turn number 1, we'll get a time. Tana has it, and it's a touch slower. 156.644 miles per hour, 156.644. You mentioned the message, a little quicker than the forever stamp. Let's go down to Jordan Bear with Corey Peabody.
Take it, Jordan.
Thank you very much, Brad and Jeff. Corey Peabody. First of all, fans, I want to do something here. Before I talk to Corey, can we all give Corey Peabody, the defending APBA Gold Cup champion, a big round of applause? Let me tell you what, that is an awesome feat what he did last week. So congratulations, Corey Peabody, on that. Welcome back to Madison, Indiana. Let me tell you what, you're here when the water is beautiful. You won the Gold Cup last week. You can't ask for 2 better weeks of boat racing.
Absolutely not. You know, I'm just happy to be here. Last weekend was a thrill. This weekend we got a lot of work to cut out for us, but we're here. Both our boats are fast, so we give you guys here in Indiana a show and try and win some hardware for our team.
You know, winning the Gold Cup last week, first of all, are you still on cloud 9 from that win last week?
Oh yeah, you know, I mean, a lot of people have been trying for a long time to get that, and we were able to get it, so I couldn't be happier, especially to get our new owners on that and a brand new sponsor that's in H1 on that trophy as well.
You know, you were very emotional last week after that, I know, because you talked about your dad. You know, was there ever any doubt about racing this year, or are you doing all this for him this year?
Never a doubt. You know, this is what we do. He wouldn't want me to stop. I'm not going to stop. So, you know, we're going to show up, we're going to do what we do, and we're going to give it our all the time.
What is your strategy going into racing tomorrow?
Survive the river.
Survive the river. All right, thank you very much, Corey. I appreciate it. Good luck to you.
All right, thank you.
Corey Peabody, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go grab Jimmy Shane here in just a moment, but until then, Jeff and Brad, take it.
Jordan Bear doing an amazing job down there getting the interviews on the dock. Also want to thank our H1 Unlimited YouTube camera crew. They are busy as well. And look at Jordan Bear down there. He's just heading on down toward the home street. Jimmy Shane's about to jump out to him.
One note for our fans along the shoreline and watching at home via H1 Unlimited through YouTube. I just spoke to GPA Chief Referee and Pro Light Chief Referee Don Malello. After H1 Unlimited qualifying, we will flip-flop. We'll go with Pro Light Heat 1B coming up first, sponsored by Rivertown Pizza. Then following that, we'll go with Grand Prix America Heat 1A, brought to you by Rivertown Bar and Grill. Just a slight adjustment in the racing program, just flip-flopping Pro Light and the GPA heats. Jordan Bear making his way down to Jimmy Shane. Jordan Bear, you're with Jimmy Shane. Take it away.
Give me a minute, guys. Got to get him down closer to here. All right, we're good. Ladies and gentlemen, Jimmy Shane, driver of the U1 Miss Home Street. Jimmy, first of all, how's the boat feel, buddy?
Oh, it feels fantastic. We got a great setup so far. First day here testing in Madison. It's gone well for us. We're running some consistent laps. So boat feels great. Yeah, no issues on my end. And we're definitely going to make a change probably after qualifying. And I think you'll see maybe a little more speed out in this home street a little bit later, hopefully today. But if not tomorrow, it should be even more of a rocket ship.
I think the fans on the shorelines will appreciate that. Last week was tough, obviously. Kind of what happened in the mowing period. It happened. You probably would have won had it happened, but it is what it is. Congratulations to Corey. But you said something I saw in the Curry. You said you want to prove that you have the best boat out here. Looks like you're off to a pretty good start.
Yeah, I mean, there was not much I could do about last week, and it was, it's racing. Mechanical things happen, and we reviewed all the data. We think there is something that I could have done a little bit differently to prevent it. So we're taking that information coming into this weekend with a fresh, clear mind, and hopefully we're looking to have a little bit better result in the final heat. Everything leading up to the final Gunnersville was perfect for us. So we're just looking to finish it off this weekend, throughout the entire weekend.
Obviously, it's unfortunate what happened to Dave in the 40, but you still got a really talented group of boats that are still here.
Yeah, you're going to see all the boats are going to be up in the 150 ranges, and I think we've got great competition. It's unfortunate that the 40 boat is out, probably for the weekend for sure. That's a lot of damage they sustained, but our boat's looking great, and we're going to take it into the next day here. We'll see if we have to go back out for qualifying today, if our time holds, and we'll just take it step by step.
Well, I know we'll be talking to you again. So, Jimmy, best of luck, my friend. I'll talk to you later. Jeff Taylor, Brad Luce, back to you.
Thank you, Jordan Bear, with Jimmy Shane, driver of the Miss Home Street. No doubt one of the most popular drivers here at this weekend's 2022 Madison Regatta, driving the hometown favorite. And Jeff Bernard will have a lot of rooting interest as well, driving the second entry this weekend for Miss Madison Racing in Miss Goodman Real Estate. As we mentioned earlier, Pro Light Heat 1B will be coming up, followed by GPA Heat 1B. I spoke to GPA and Pro Light Chief Referee Don Malello. After those two heats, we have the water until 5 o'clock, and right after those two heats, I think we'll have some more qualification attempts on the water for the H1 unlimited hydroplane. So still lots to do in day number 1 of 3 of activity here on the Ohio River at the 2022 Madison Regatta. Brad Luce, it is 3:42. I woke up at 5 o'clock this morning, and again, what is wrong with me? You beat me again to the race site, just like last weekend in Guntersville. I need to go see Dr. Israel.
I know, Jeff, and we're going to talk about it this evening. Tana and I are going to have a class on setting one's alarm clock, because that's 2 races in a row. It's never happened once, let alone twice in a row. 3 times in a row it becomes a real trend, and then we're in trouble.
I think I will make up later in what's in this little container down here to the bottom at 5:01.
Oh, gosh. So where are we on our schedule here? Are we going to stick another H1 boat in, or are we going to go racing?
Looks like we might go with our 2 heats, Pro Light, GPA, and I think when those are complete, Brad, we have the water until 5, and it looks like we'll go back with some more H1 unlimited qualifying. This young man done a wonderful job down on the dock. Our morning show host at 96.7 FM WORX in Madison, Indiana. And Brad, to give you a little bit more background on Jordan, he is a soccer official, now qualified to officiate Division I soccer.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot of hard work, and been doing that since I was 14 years old. And again, not to age myself again, because I've already done that once this weekend, but it is fun. I'll be starting up. We have a rules meeting coming up on July 16th, and I'm going to be taking a week off to just honestly laid my pool most of the week. I think I'm going to need to do that for about 8 or 9 days straight. But then, of course, before I go back, we have Tri-Cities, the running of the Columbia Cup, so I'll be watching that, I'm sure. And let me tell you what, it's fun. That was a lot of fun out there. It's hot, though. I'm going to say that.
Brad, trust me, when he went on vacation last year, we had a debrief, and let me tell you something. When somebody enjoys vacation, it's this guy right here, because he had some stuff up the road here that I wouldn't touch.
I don't know where that's going, but anyway, let me go back to where I wanted to go, because I have spent my broadcast career started right down there in that dock, just like you, in the Tri-Cities of Washington on 610 KONA. I'll give them a plug. But I was watching you walk along down there. You had Jared Meyer in tow. He had the camera right on you, and whoever your subject was of the discussion, you did an outstanding job.
Brad, that means a lot coming from you. It really, really does. And, I've watched this sport for so long, and, I love this sport. I really do. Every week come regatta, I get excited. It gets closer because, there's so many great things that go on during regatta week, but to me, absolutely nothing touches what we see on this river. And, all the drivers here are so fantastic. I really appreciate them being so cool with me. And many of them sitting there in their driver suits, so they got to be burning up in there. But they were so great to talk to. And let me tell you what, there's some fast boats out there. I see Jimmy Shane speed. I know Jeff Bernard said he wanted to get back out there, and if he can, and try to up his speed a little bit. And we'll see if Jimmy Shane has to go back out there, because right now, man, that's an impressive speed he has out there for the U1.
It's an awfully impressive speed. I know exactly what you're talking about. You're standing down there sweating like a dog, waiting for the interview, and then you think, wow, I have a pair of shorts on, and here's a guy like Corey Peabody in a jet black driver's suit, and we're up here talking. We can see you standing down there. I know how that goes. I know it's hot for him, but this is what I always say about those drivers and the crews and the crew chiefs and owners. This is what is so great about H1 Unlimited. Everybody is so approachable. They will always take the time and talk to the media.
Well, and that's the big thing, because I was talking to Jeff earlier today. These guys, most of these guys have full-time jobs outside of this, and they do this for fun, and they do this because they want to give back to the fans. They want the sport to continue to grow, and you see how excited, talking to Corey, and he was telling me even before we went over the speaker here, he talked about how much he loved his boat and how honored he was to win the Gold Cup last week, and how happy everyone was, because it was unfortunate with Jimmy Shane. Obviously, he went dead in the water, but he was so happy for Corey, because everyone just really respected seeing someone win their Gold Cup for the first time. That's what makes this sport so great. And again, they've always been great to me. H1's always treated me well. The racing teams have as well. And I'm just happy to be here. And we got 2 more days of this, boys. I'm excited. We got 2 more full days of this.
Neat. This guy's going to fit right in. I'm the one fitting in. I'm the oddball here, but you guys are amazing. I'm going to step away from the mic here.
We are in Madison, Indiana, where we are about to bring you the final heat. The boat's on the water now as we look out the front window of Dave Bilwach's Miss Budweiser. From our O'Doul's Eye in the Sky, Mark Evans, we are inside a minute, and we see the field grouping up now on the back straightaway.
This is where you really start to get wound up. You come down underneath the bridge. You got less than a minute to go. You don't know if you want to be up ahead a little bit or lay back and really get a run at the start. You don't want to get too much of a run, because you'll jump the gun like they did in the heat before. But they're anticipating a very good start coming up.
38 seconds as they go under the Madison-Milton Bridge. They'll make the big left turn to come down the front straightaway. The driver's job is to wire it right on time, get to start-finish right as the clock ticks down to 0. If you get there 1 second too early, Mark, you got to go around a whole lap before your illegal starter. You have no chance.
That's right. You're penalized for a lap. Oh, the Budweiser pushed Terry out just a little bit, but now they got to get on it. Underneath the bridge is about 13 seconds, somewhere around in there.
13 seconds right there, and they are past the bridge. They may be a little early and have to slow down. Watch the clock now as they come by us for the start. Mark Webber in the yellow boat. Terry Troxel leading the field comes by, appears to be early. Oh, the entire field looked like they were up there a little bit quick, Mark. We may have gun jumpers here, but we will not know until we get the official word from the guys on the start-finish tower. Meanwhile, Terry Troxel is just out ahead and not looking back.
Wow, Steve David and Dave Bilwach laid back just a little bit. They might have hit the start right on. You can see from the camera there, the inside lane had a good run at it, but here comes Weber, and there goes Troxel.
The officials will be reviewing that start. It will be perhaps a lap or so before we know who has made a legal start. But the big story here, Mark Evans, nobody is catching Terry Troxel in Zenetics 2.
No, he is going really fast. I'm sure the guys are talking to their crew chiefs on the radio, wondering who jumped or who didn't. But that's a situation that even if someone's jumped and you know it, you still want to go after him just in case something else went wrong.
Mark Webber in the yellow U10 Miss M-Corps running second on the water. Steve David pushing the Budweiser out a little bit, Mark. He likes to do that, doesn't he?
Oh, that's always fun to do. Everybody likes to do that to the Budweiser and Dave Vilwalk, but that's part of hard racing.
Here comes our leader on the water, Terry Troxel. Now, he did cross the line. It looked to us like he was a little bit early, but we are waiting for official word. A great race on the water right here. This is for third and fourth with Steve David on the inside in the Oberto, racing Dave Vilwalk and Miss Budweiser.
Steve still got Dave on his hip. Whoa, he almost blew it over. That is a bad thing when you're getting ready to set up for the turn.
From our O'Doul's eye in the sky, you see the big lead that Terry Troxel has. You also see that great race with Steve David keeping Miss Budweiser right on his hip now. There is the boat that is third on the water, the Oh Boy Oberto Miss Madison. Right behind him, Dave Vilwalk and Miss Budweiser running fourth, and we are still waiting for word from the officials as to who, if anyone, in these front four is a legal starter.
And that's right, Steve. All of the drivers have a radio man, and they're all waiting for word to see who jumped the gun or who didn't.
You can holler, am I legal, and the guy on the other end of the radio still doesn't know, as we don't, and as soon as we find out, we will let you know. You saw Terry Troxel, the leader on the water. Here comes the U10 M-Corps. Mark Webber is running second. Then that battle continues between Steve David and Dave Vilwalk. I don't know if Steve even cares about the rest of the race. He just wants to beat the red boat.
Oh, this is cracking me up. I'm telling you, Steve does care. He loves pushing Budweiser out to the beach like that. He's just keeping the boat in one piece and getting it to the finish line.
Running third on the water now, Miss Budweiser goes by into third place as we are getting word now. As we look at the O'Doul's eye in the sky, Mark Evans, listen to this. The first legal starter was Steve David in the Miss Madison Oh Boy Oberto. There is your leader, and the boat beside him, Dave Vilwalk. You can hear the crowd now as they get the word, and the entire city of Madison is going crazy.
No way. I can't believe this. Steve David, if he's got the word on that, he is going to go crazy. They haven't won a race here in 30 years. The crowd's going to go nuts if that's really the case.
Now, Steve David has to get some information from his crew. He will find out that he doesn't have to worry about Miss Budweiser off to his right. The two boats ahead of him are actually a lap behind. He needs to be concerned about Greg Hopp in the Zenetics. He was the trailer boat. He's somewhere about a rooster tail back mark, and the only guy that Steve David has to worry about.
And I'm here to tell you that is one team that you do need to worry about. Fred Leland and the guys build a great rough water boat, and Greg can make it through the turns just fantastic. So he will gain on a team that's running even as fast as they think they can run.
Steve David and the Miss Madison Oh Boy Oberto leading in front of the hometown crowd. From our O'Doul's eye in the sky, the leader is just coming through the turn now in lane one. He had been racing Dave Vilwalk and Miss Budweiser, but the Bud is back a lap after being one of our gun jumpers. Imagine, Mark Evans, what is going through the mind of Steve David. The Ohio River is very, very rough. Right now, it's really him, his boat, against the river.
And you've heard it before. You talk about hearing all these gremlins and stuff. You're getting down to the last couple of laps, and it is amazing what a driver will hear in a boat. Oh my gosh, is the prop blade coming off? Is the engine going to make it? There's all these things you think about, so you just try to drive as smooth and true as you can.
Terry Troxel in the Zenetics 2 and Mark Webber in the M-Corps way out ahead of the field, followed by Dave Vilwalk. Those three boats all jumped the gun. They were in the front row along with Steve David in the Oh Boy Oberto Miss Madison. That is Steve over in lane one, coming through the very, very rough chop here on the front straightaway. It is he who is leading this event. He just has to hang on for one more lap. You hear the crowd on their feet as he comes by. Still, though, back in his mirrors, Greg Hopp in Zenetics 1. He was the trailer boat, but from the O'Doul's eye in the sky, we can see that Steve has a pretty good lead, Mark Evans. He just has to keep it on the water.
Okay, well, now we've got the video of the start of the race when the boats came flying across a little too early. 4-3. See, two boats went across. There went the Budweiser. Steve David hits it right on the mark there. That's why he's our leader.
This boat, Terry Troxel, Zenetics 2, very, very early, almost 3 seconds out there, Mark. You have to wonder if maybe he wasn't trying to pull the field across and give his teammate Greg Hopp a shot from the trailer position.
That's right. Terry's been accused of doing that before, and it is kind of fun. I've done it myself. You just go up there and barrel across and pull the rest of them with you and let somebody else win.
And the strategy would have worked, but this guy, the veteran out of Lighthouse Point, Florida, Steve David, in the hometown boat, the Miss Madison, oh boy, Oberto, would not be snookered. He put his green nose right on the start line at 0-0. He's going to take the checkered flag, Mark Evans.
Look at the flaps are up. He's keeping it on the water, making sure he doesn't do anything stupid. Just get to that finish line. I can't believe these guys are going to win.
30 years since history was made here. The hometown boat winning the race in Madison. It has happened again. The crowd is going absolutely nuts, and imagine how Steve David feels bringing home here in Madison, Indiana, where moments ago Steve David parked the Miss Madison, oh boy, Oberto, after an incredible victory. He's meeting the press. Let's listen in.
These folks for 30 years have deserved to win. When I raced against this boat, I always knew it was a winner, and the team is just awesome. They brought me in like family. Me and Sabrina just felt like part of this family right away, and you just got to give your heart to people like that. You know, it's like give your heart to God, you give your heart to this team. It's the same thing.
Talk about the ride out there today.
Oh, the boat was awesome, but the competitors I was racing against were great too. I mean, they all drove their hearts out. Just today was our day, but they're all great, and there's going to be some other winners this year too.
We're going to come with a jump the gun. So.
Yeah, a couple of them jumped the gun, and, you know, because you're just your own edge. Everybody's doing their best, and thankfully we didn't today.
I think there was 3 of them jumped the gun.
They've been waiting for this, you know.
You're like team here.
No, I mean, hey, I'm their servant, and today I was a good servant.
Steve.
Still waiting. Looks like we have the 313 E313 Benedict Racing being lowered into the water, or possibly be doing a testing session potentially. Okay, folks, all right, now I got this set. Okay, I apologize. So here we go. They decided to kind of switch it on me a little bit, but we are going to do the Pro Light Heat 1B first. Pro Light Heat 1B. That is what we will be doing first, and then we'll have the Grand Prix race there. So that is just a little bit of a switcheroo in the schedule. But again, it looks like Pro Light Heat 1B will be first. Again, going to take a break. Jeff Taylor, Brad Luce will be back here in just a little bit.
Attention to pits, attention to pits. Pro light drivers, stand by for countdown to 1 to the 5. Coming up in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark. That's 1 to the 5 for Pro Light, Heat 1B. Thirty seconds. 20, 15, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Mark. That is the 5-minute period for Pro Light Heat 1B, sponsored by Rivertown Pizza. Drivers, crank them up. Pro Light boats, 20-foot length, 10-foot width, all powered by a 350 cubic inch Chevrolet engine. Generates up to 400 horsepower, 1,500 pound racing vessel. Shoot speeds at the end of each shoot up to 115 miles per hour. Jordan, these 350s are about to line up. We'll get them out on the course, and then I'll throw them over to you for a boat ID and lineup, assigned lanes and clock start, and that is threading the needle right there. Derek Smith leaving the dock in that Little Damn Bad Influence. Next boat out, Jeff Sancure in the Modern Drummer. Dominant red boat, we're waiting for Buddy Benedict to leave the dock in the Benedict Racing. Welcome to Madison. Won't say who it is. He's a good old boy. 345 away, 345 away. All right, Jordan, Buddy Benedict trying to get an answer to the engine of the Benedict Racing. Let the fans know who's in this 1B heat, sponsored by Rivertown Pizza from lanes 1 to 4.
Thank you very much, Jeff Ayler. We have the E79, that Little Damn Bad Influence, driven by Derek Smith. He'll be in lane 1 for Heat 1B. Lane 2 will be the E98, the Faster Than Cancer Foundation, driven by Steve Huff. Lane number 3 will be E17. That'll be the Modern Drummer, driven by Jeff Sancour. And again, if he can get the boat out, still has not really gotten that engine going here. In lane 4, it'll be the E313 Benedict Racing, driven by Buddy Benedict. Jeff Ayler, the boats are coming around at turn number 2 here as they come across the start-finish line. Hopefully we get another great race like we did just a little bit ago.
I think we will, Jordan. The Pro Lights, we got a nice field assembled here this weekend. The Pro Light Tour Series sponsor is Phenom Digital, with assistance from RSTZ Transport. 2 minutes, 35 seconds until the start, 2:35 away. Buddy Benedict trying to get an answer to the 313 Benedict Racing. Jordan, and inboard hydroplane racing, your boat has to be in a planing attitude at the 1 minute mark. If you're not in a planing attitude at 1 minute, you're an ineligible starter. Right now, Buddy is in a safe position on the race course. The 3 drivers running, they are in communication with their spotter in the corral area just to the left-hand side of us in our position here at the judges' stand. 2 minutes has come and gone, 2 minutes away, and boy, nice day weather-wise, Jordan. We had that one little brief shower that come through, and day 1 of 3 of the 2022 Madison Regatta, I think, has gone off in fine fashion.
I really do think, Jeff, and again, we have a nice little breeze coming through here, too. We got a fan up here, and it just feels great. And here's the thing, it's not even supposed to be as hot tomorrow, and I'm looking to see here, okay, I thought Sancour was losing some power here up the front stretch, but it looks like he's ready to go. But again, perfect weather.
Hopefully the weather keeps up like this throughout the rest of the weekend. Again, temperature's supposed to be in the mid-80s tomorrow and Sunday. You can't ask for better weather than that. And we're coming up on 1 minute, Jeff.
1:10 away, and time is running out for Buddy Benedict out of Evansville, Indiana. And the dominant red Benedict Racing. 1 minute has come and gone, so Buddy will need to remain nestled in that enclosed cockpit with his helmet on per the rules of the American Powerboat Association. So Buddy will get a did not start here in Rivertown Pizza 1B. We are coming up on 40 seconds, but Jordan, nice 3-boat fleet here. Could be a good duel in lane 1 between Derek Smith out of Oswego, New York, and Steve Huff out of Seattle. In lane 2, the 2 orange boats will try to peel the cover off one another.
Exactly, and you look up there, they're all pretty much, of course you just had to go there, Jeff. And now we're starting to pick it up here. It looks like we may have a good start. Again, we had 2 boats jump in the last heat. We're at 15 seconds, Jeff, as they come to the start-finish line.
10 seconds away, Rivertown Pizza Pro Light Heat 1B. We are 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, mark, and we'll call it physically. Steve Huff was there first, and I expect the start under review sign from our engineer, Tana Morissette. We're racing in 1B.
Under review.
By Rivertown Pizza. Start is under review, but Steve Huff is your physical leader in the Faster Than Cancer Foundation. But Jordan coming up on the inside is Derek Smith and that little damn bad influence.
And there's Derek Smith trying to make up, but there's a lot of speed by Steve Huff in lane number 2. Got a rooster tail lead right now, but right there, the shorter course around is Derek Smith, and he's starting to pick up speed just a little bit. He may catch up here in turn number 2, but there's a lot of speed coming down the stretch.
Smith has the advantage. Shorter way around on the inside will come down to complete lap number 1 of 4, and Steve Huff's lead is evaporating in the Faster Than Cancer Foundation. Derek Smith has it down to 7 boat lengths in second. Jeff Sancure in third. In Modern Drummer, Rivertown Pizza Heat 1B. Huff there first, but now Smith tightening things up on the inside lane, and that little damn bad influence. Jordan off the turn. Smith is there on the inside.
Smith is there on the inside, but nice job and nice turn by Steve Huff to keep that lead. Let me tell you what, Smith is not going anywhere, and oh, do we have a call to make? Both the 79 and 98 jumped the gun, a 1 minute penalty, Jeff. That means Jeff Sencour right now is our leader.
Wow, your leader is the black and red Modern Drummer. These 2 boats were gun jumpers. So Steve Huff and Derek Smith itching on the throttle to the line. Here's Jeff Sancure out of Marine City, Michigan, your leader in the Modern Drummer. So Sancure halfway through his run in 1B, but Jordan right now, these points per second is going to be valuable. That's actually the race right now, and Huff is holding off Derek Smith, but Derek has the advantage of the inside.
He does. He's picking up speed on those front straightaways. That is where Smith is is unable to catch Huff, and Huff's got a lot of speed there in lane 2. Let me tell you what, Smith still has the shorter track around, but it's been pretty much a rooster tail lead the entire time. We still got a couple laps to see if Smith can catch him, Jeff.
Jeff Sancure remains your leader, but this is an important battle for second, and Steve Huff has got word from his spotter. You jumped the gun, but now you need to hold off Derek Smith for those second place points here in Rivertown Pizza Pro Light Heat 1B. Jeff Sancure, we look above, white flag is displayed. So 3 in the books and 1 more to go for your leader, Jeff Sancure and the Modern Drummer. Now Sancure slowing, Sancure going dead in the water. So here is your race to the finish. Huff has a sizable lead now in the Faster Than Cancer Foundation. Jordan's time running out for Derek Smith.
It is. Smith has got to do something right here, right now, but it looks like it is going to be Steve Huff who's going to be up there, Jeff. We see the checkered flag for first place.
Final turn, final lap. Your winner, Rivertown Pizza Pro Light 1B is Steve Huff in Faster Than Cancer Foundation. Second place will go to Derek Smith in that little damn bad influence. And boy, what a tough break for Jeff Sancure. moving up to the 350 class in 2022. Victory was at the grasp of the 17, but you have to run all 4 laps.
Oh, man. Yes, you do. That is a tough one because, again, that was first place. What valuable points that would have been with 400 points. And so at that point, now the gun jumping basically becomes moot for both Smith and Huff. But what a run by Steve Huff, again, from the inside lane and from start to finish. Huff did a great job. His turns were on point, and he kept Smith behind him. Smith was always within about a rooster tail there, probably the last half lap. He probably pulled away from him a little bit more, but a really, really nice run from Steve Huff and the Faster the Cancer Foundation. An impressive performance in 1B.
As you see, watching online with H1 Unlimited through YouTube, our Pro Light Racing Series presented by Phenom Digital and RSTZ Transport, Jeff Sancure out of the cockpit in the Modern Drummer. And Jordan, you have a better angle as Buddy Benedict getting, yes, the lid is up on the E313, so we'll get Sancure and Benedict on the rope, get them into a safe position, and with that, we're going to take a break because coming up next, the 1B heat for Grand Prix America is being pushed to tomorrow, and we'll wrap the day up here on the Ohio River, day number 1 of 3, with more H1 Unlimited Hydroplane qualifying. Race fans, stand by. We have the water until 5 o'clock.
Sorry.
Attention in the pits, attention in the pits, attention along the shoreline. All Grand Prix America teams, we will run Heat 1B of Grand Prix. We will run Heat 1B of Grand Prix. That will include boat number 79, 577, and 12. Boat number 79, 577, and 12. We will run GPA 1B today. Teams prepare to race in just a bit. Thank you.
This is River City Printing 2, right?
The following week found our Unlimited hydroplane friends churning up the waters of the Ohio River looking for extra points for the national championship. They'll be going for the Governor's Cup at Madison, Indiana. And in the first heat, Miss Thriftway set a new world record for a 15-mile heat. It amounted to 112.312 miles an hour. Her second elimination heat 2A was to be her last that she would ever run in her career. She was leading at in slow motion. Watch carefully. Bill goes out of the boat to the left, and the seat goes out with him.
Race fans, we resume activity on the Ohio River here in Madison, Indiana. Day number 1 of 3 of action on the Ohio River, the Wild Bill Cantrell Memorial Racecourse for the 2022 Madison Regatta. J. Michael Kelly out on the course. In the U8 Miss Tri-Cities, we will resume with H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Qualifying. H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Qualifying resuming. And J. Michael out on the course in U8 Miss Tri-Cities. We saw J. Mike get up above 151 miles per hour earlier, but those speeds were erased due to a N2 violation. So J. Michael trying to put a legal lap on the clock here in qualifying at the Madison Regatta. Current top time belongs to Jimmy Shane and Miss Homestreet, 156.857 miles per hour. J. Michael Kelly's teammate Corey Peabody and Lynx Healthcare at 152.501 miles per hour. Jeff Bernard third quick currently in the 91 Goodman Real Estate at 146.799 miles per hour. And Jamie Nielsen fourth quick in the U11 Miss Colleen at 145.466 miles per hour. J. Michael Kelly on the clock, the first of 3 times around in Darrell and Vanessa Strong's U8 Miss Tri-Cities. Kraft won last year's Southern Cup at Lake Guntersville, Alabama. Followed that up with the season finale win in San Diego at Mission Bay. J. Michael Kelly, who's your defending high point champion in H1 Unlimited, won the driver's title last year as he works back into turn number 2. J. Michael Kelly out of Bonnie Lake, Washington, driving the U8 Miss Tri-Cities. Brad Luce, listen for these owners he's driven for: Jim Harvey, Dave Bartish, Ted Porter, Billy and Jane Shoemaker. Now for the Strong family. J. Michael, capable pilot, drives good equipment. Lap number 1 is complete for the U8 Miss Tri-Cities. Setting sun to the west here in Madison on this Friday afternoon, July 1st. Puts it on the hook. Works through turn number 1 nicely. We'll get a time here momentarily for the U8 Miss Tri-Cities. J. Michael Kelly working up the Trimble County, Kentucky shoreline of the Ohio River. Not bad, 146.203 miles per hour, 146.203. Brad, that would put him 4th best. He'd like to get 3rd or above, or maybe even into 2nd. We'll see.
Yeah, it's a good time for him there, and it's important too. He's in the top 4 because of the shootout format that we've got coming tomorrow. He doesn't want to be the 5th fastest qualifier because then you don't get to run in the shootout. You go straight to the last chance heat. He wants to be in the top 4. He's there right now if it's legal, but there's lap number 2 in the books. The Miss Tri-Cities, it is J. Michael Kelly. You're talking about Kelly driving good equipment, doing this and doing that. This guy is a consummate racer. Every weekend, somewhere in the United States, this guy is driving a boat or he's in a race with his kids and they're driving. This is what the young man does.
Just a touch slower, 146.018 miles per hour. 146.018. J. Michael Kelly, 2-time winner here in Madison in 2014 and 2015. Looking to get to that 3rd position, as Brad mentioned, for our brand new showdown format tomorrow. And he tightens it up off turn number 2, trying to increase the speed, cut down on the real estate on this 2.5-mile track. Working a lane number 1 sequence. This will be the 3rd and final time around for J. Michael Kelly in the U8 Miss Tri-Cities. J. Michael's qualification run is complete here on the Ohio River. Brad, I think the boat's looking better, but there's still more speed left in it. But right now they're just trying to get in the show and get a good position in the showdown format coming up tomorrow. There we are. That's the quickest of the 3. And he moves into 3rd position on the ladder at 148.079 miles per hour. 148.079. He passes Jeff Bernard. Guess who's going out next? Jeff Bernard.
Jeff Bernard's going back out. The other boat I'm watching is the U11 of Miss Colleen and Jamie Nielsen. Will they try and come out and just, they got 3 boats there that are so tight. 148.0 for J. Michael Kelly, down to Jamie Nielsen at 145.4. So it's basically a 2.5 mile an hour difference between being in the shootout tomorrow and not being in the shootout. I'm keeping an eye on that U11 to Miss Colleen, see if the crane doesn't start moving that way, see if Scott and Shannon don't want to try and ratchet up a little bit. To your point, Bernard's going to try and get back out here and improve on that 146.
Madison, Indiana is the second stop on the 2022 H1 Unlimited Hydroplane Series, but Madison, Indiana will be the second and third stops in the points race for H1 Unlimited. Tomorrow in the showdown format, scored with national points, will declare a winner. Sunday, the traditional Indiana Governor's Cup format, we will declare a winner. 2 H1 Unlimited hydroplane pilots, or maybe the same one could win both events.
Absolutely. So race fans, we're going to go racing again tomorrow, but as Jeff just explained, we're going to crown a champion tomorrow. So if you can only be here one day and tomorrow happens to be that day, stick around for the final. It's going to be a 4-boat showdown, fight for lanes. It's going to be very, very competitive with this field of boats. It's going to be good. You're going to see a champion crown. I like the format, Jeff. I like trying something new here, and it's all for that guy right up there, the fan. That's the guy we're doing this for.
And there's been some changes, Brad. You'll go over that. But the boat 5th in qualifying will automatically go into the last chance. We will have 2 heat races of 2 boat heats. Those winners will transfer to the final. I like the format. I've been looking forward to it for a number of weeks now, and time is ticking down, and tomorrow is the day, and the sun will rise, and we'll have the H1 showdown format. And as we mentioned just moments ago, we'll have a final heat winner tomorrow in the showdown format here in Madison.
Yeah, we're going to assume that we're looking at a monitor here with some speeds on it. I'm not quite sure that is correct. They have Kelly's fast lap at 146.2, and we clearly have him at 148.0, which would put him ahead of Jeff Bernard. It's like
Jeff Ayler, Brad Luce, I got J. Michael Kelly here, who just very, very impressive time there, moving into 3rd in qualifying speed right now. Mike, just ask you what happened kind of in the first time you had an N2. Can you kind of give us an explanation on that?
Just engine RPM. We running basically a race gearbox setup. We just wasn't catching my lights in time, and so we'll see. I mean, the guys been working hard. We're just throwing lots of stuff at this, trying to get some speed out of the boat. And, super happy with the way the boat's handling right now, getting through the corners. Night and day difference from last year. So I mean, right now we have a really good race boat, so I'm excited about that.
What kind of changes did you make as far as this run? Because you just qualified a little over an hour ago. Any changes you made at all, or did you kind of just stay with the course?
No changes. Really just want to get in the show. Not risking any penalties like the last one. So I mean, really just want to get in the show, and hopefully with what we've been working on, it'll get us up in the front with those guys.
Well, you get to go relax a little bit, got to rest up, and then we'll see you bright and early here tomorrow, okay?
Yeah, excited. Looking forward to the parade tonight, and just throwing out some candy to the kids and signing some autographs, so I'll get some rest and cool down this evening and get hard tomorrow.
I mean, you don't want to stay in your driver's suit all night?
No, it's been super hot.
All right, J. Michael Kelly, thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Jeff Ayler, Brad Luce, back to you guys.
Thank you very much, Jordan Bear, doing a great job down there. Fans, we've got the second entry here from Miss Madison Racing on the water. And Jeff, what we started to say right before Jordan came in with that key interview was kind of like if you're talking about the National Football League and the playoffs here, if the season ended today, well, if qualifying ended right now, our shootout would have Jeff Bernard on the inside of Corey Peabody and J. Michael Kelly on the inside of Jimmy Shane. it'd be kind of fun. But I think a lot's going to change because here comes Jeff. He's looking to improve on that 146.7, but what he really wants, he wants to get ahead of Kelly. He wants to beat that 148.0. So we're going to be watching. I'm still keeping an eye down here. I'm looking for the 11. Looking to see if they come off the trailer.
+2, Brad. These qualifying runs, wherever you finish, that goes toward the national high point standings. It's a condensed point total. First we'll get 100, second 80, and then on down the ladder through number 5. Jeff Bernard on the clock. The first of 3 times around, and U91, Goodman Real Estate. Jeff Bernard out of Kent, Washington, a native of Allen Park, Michigan. And boy, Brad, when you talk about Jeff, his first unlimited ride was in 2005 in Fred Leland's Lake Ridge Paving. You were there in the last chance he defeated his late stepfather, Terry Troxel, by a half a coat of paint to transfer to the Seafair Championship. And that was a fun thing to watch in H1 with Jeff battling against Terry, and that was a fun time.
It was a very fun time, and it was a very, very close finish that you just alluded to. Jeff just kept coming and coming and coming, and a lot of fun, and you're right, he knocked off Terry Troxel in that heat. The late, great Terry Troxel will always be a friend of ours. We'll never forget Terry, a former Gold Cup champion. Jeff's got one up. He's got one down. He's got 2 to go. Now, looking for an improvement on the 146.7, also looking to get ahead of J. Michael Kelly at 148. We're assuming Kelly will pass tech inspection, but he still has to check that box.
Bernard exits turn number 1. We'll get a time here on lap number 1, 146.761 miles per hour, 146.761, trying to get above the 148.079 to slide back in third on the qualifying ladder.
Yeah, so he basically ran that lap pretty much dead even with his fast lap from the last time. See if he can't get that turbine motor spooled up just a little bit hotter. Not uncommon at all to see lap number 2 be a little quicker and lap 3 quicker yet. So looking for at least a 148. Wants to get ahead of Kelly, move into number 3.
Lap 2 complete. Jeff Bernard one more time around in this qualifying session. Jeff began racing inboard hydroplanes at age 17, won numerous regional, national, and world championships, along with setting 10 world record competition speeds. This lap, 147.511 miles per hour, 147.511. Brad still needs a mile per hour to slide into third.
He doesn't even need a mile per hour. He needs a half a mile an hour. This is going to be close. Fast lap for Jeff, 147.5, looking for 148.0. Jeff at the top end of the race course tightens it up a little bit this time. That might just do it right there. Now get off of the corner, Jeff. Get the boat out of the water. Here he comes. Jeff Bernard going to put lap number 3 in the books.
Nice point, Brad, because that's where we saw J. Michael gain that speed on his qualification run earlier. So checkered flag waves, and Jeff Bernard's 3 laps are in the books. Tana Morissette, our on-site engineer, monitoring the radios of H1 Unlimited. As soon as she gets the speed, we'll give you the speed to see if Jeff Bernard will remain 4th or 3rd. It is being calculated. The final answer is 147.437 miles per hour. 147.437. Not quick enough to move up to third.
Not quite. So the fast lap, he improved on his own time, but not enough to move into number 3 on the list. He will sit at 147.511. 147.511. Keeping an eye down there. I'm looking for the U11.
Saw the slings going, I thought, above the U1 Miss Home Street, and now those have collapsed. Both still on the trailer, so Duchesne and team with Miss Madison Racing, you're at 156.857. Corey Peabody, 4.3 miles per hour slower, but now the Lynx Healthcare, I believe we're running out of time.
All right, they said the 9 is going to pass. He's hanging over the water. And now the 9 is coming back
to the trailer.
He's coming back to the trailer. We have cleared the U8 in tech inspection. So, for J. Michael Kelly, the third fastest time posted today, the 148.079 is going to stand up. He is number 3. So, Jeff Bernard was able to increase his speed a little bit, but not enough to move up the ladder. On my watch, I'm staring at about 448, 449. We've got the water till 5. We've got about 11 minutes. And I don't think we're going to get anybody else on the water. The question was going to be Nielsen.
Well, I think the message might have been sent when Bernard did not get into third spot. The 9 come back in, and Brad, you heard me mention the slings collapsed on the 1. So I think right then, that's when the trump card was laid. I think everybody will set in stone right now with these speeds.
Yep, that's the way it's going to be. So our top qualifier is going to be Jimmy Shane. You won the Miss Home Street with a fast lap of 156.857. Followed, as you just said, Jeff, by Corey Peabody in the U9, the Lynx Healthcare, 152.501. Kelly passes tech inspection, moves into third in the Miss Tri-Cities at 148.079. Fourth on the list, and our final boat set for our showdown initial heats tomorrow, the U91, Goodman Real Estate, Jeff Bernard, 147.5.
All right, Jeff Taylor and Brett. I have Chip, driver of the U91 Goodman Real Estate. Chip, we were just talking a little bit before you came on here. You said felt better that time, said you made a few adjustments. Seems like you're happy with this run.
Yeah, we were fine. Water changed a little bit. Troy Olberg and my team, with the help of Mike Hansen, they don't give up. We got some ideas what we're going to do for tomorrow, match racing, get a little bit more speed. We're sneaking up on it. I feel great in the boat. Just got to pick up a couple more miles an hour.
You know, I want to ask you this because Jimmy has driven for Miss Madison for a while. You drove for Miss Madison last year. This is the first time you're running all 5 races as the driver. Kind of talk about what it's like being here, knowing you're one of the hometown favorites here.
Oh, this town is special, even if you're not driving for the Miss Madison. I got my first win here in 08. The crowd is so cool. They've always treated me well. I've been fortunate throughout my career to have people that I call friends from Madison, working on the team in 15 and then coming back in 19. I've been with them ever since, but you guys always make me feel like home, and it's even more special when you're on the Miss Madison team. We're going to try to get these 2 boats 1-2, whatever it takes. The best guys in the pit area working on it. Mike Hansen, Larry Hansen, Power in there. He's back at the shop. I got no doubt in my mind we're going to figure it out. My crew chief Troy Olberg and our whole team they're working hard. We're not quite there yet, but we'll figure it out. We got the team to do it, the equipment to do it. We just got to put something together.
Well done tonight. You spend the night, maybe go grab some dinner in Madison and come back tomorrow and steal the show, all right?
Yeah, we'll go see all of our friends from Madison at the parade tonight and try to get this Goodman Real Estate's boat running good for tomorrow. I don't know if we have a test session in the morning. This schedule seems to keep changing, but if there is, I'm sure we'll be out testing and trying new stuff. But thank you to the whole Madison town for having me be a part of your family.
Awesome. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Bernard, driver of the U91 Goodman Real Estate. Good luck tomorrow, Jeff. Jeff Taylor, Brad Luce, back to you.
Thank you, Jordan Bear, with Jeff Bernard. You see on our clock watching on H1 Unlimited via YouTube, we're down to 6 minutes and 50 seconds left in H1 Unlimited qualifying. But Brad, by the activity I see in the pit area, I think all 5 teams remaining eligible to run here in Madison in 2022 after the unfortunate withdrawal of the Beacon Plumbing. Looks like our qualifying times are set in stone, and this will give us an opportunity to go over the new showdown format tomorrow. It will be condensed down just a touch because of the withdrawal of the Beacon Plumbing, but looking forward to that tomorrow. The showdown format from H1 Unlimited here at the Madison Regatta. We will crown a winner tomorrow afternoon in H1 Unlimited after the 4-boat championship heat. Brad had to step away for just a moment. He'll rejoin me here momentarily, and we'll go over the brackets and some of the rules and regulations coming up tomorrow in the H1 Unlimited Showdown. Don't forget about tonight's Rooster Tail Music Festival, the headliner, 38 Special, Fantasy Girl.
Not my favorite song. Hold On Loosely is mine, but sorry, just had to go up the steps, and a fat man trying to run up steps can take a little bit out of you. But I'm going to hand it back to Brad because he's got an important announcement to make.
He's a soccer official. He's out of breath.
Awesome job today, young man. Jordan Bear, he gets the award. The hard-working guy on the tower here. You did yeoman's work, and it's wonderful. Great job.
Thank you so much, Brad and Jeff, and I really appreciate, I was approached this new idea yesterday, what we were going to do, and to me, once it was kind of fully laid out to me, I said this could be, in my opinion, the best idea that we could do. And I was talking to Tate Meyer, and I was talking to Jared down in the pits. Let me tell you what, this is incredible. Everything's been incredible today. We still have 2 more days of this, man. Let's go racing.
That's the best part of the whole thing. We got 2 more days.
He's ready to crank him up.
He's ready to go. He's ready to go. Jeff, I got what we believe is going to be the showdown, not only format, but the seeding. And I think we can walk through it now. We've got 5 boats that qualified. All 5 have an opportunity still to win our event tomorrow. Why don't you run down Showdown Heat 1 and Showdown Heat 2?
Thank you, Brad Luce. Tomorrow during the Power Hour, the showdown for H1 Unlimited, qualifiers 2 and 4 will contest each other. On the inside, your 4th fastest qualifier, Jeff Bernard in U91 Goodman Real Estate. On the outside, your 2nd fastest qualifier, Corey Peabody, U9 Lynx Healthcare. Your 2nd hour of power showdown heat. To the inside, your 3rd fastest qualifier, J. Michael Kelly in U8 Miss Tri-Cities. And your top qualifier on the outside, Jimmy Shane in Miss Home Street. Brad, we failed to mention Jamie Nielsen in U11 Miss Colleen. They're not out of it. They'll go into the last chance.
Yeah, and one other comment about the inside boat versus the outside boat. The inside boat, he's got to be in lane 2. They're not going to make him sit on that inside lane, which we all know here in Madison, that can be troublesome. It can be more of a curse than it is a benefit. So they're going to be able to run in lane 2, and then the outside boat simply has to be outside of them.
And that will be 3-minute gun, clock start. So it is important to come to the line with a lot of boat speed and not jump the gun. They're 2-lap heats. If you jump the gun, that will be an extra lap in penalty, and of course, obviously, takes you away from the checkered. Those heats will be scored, 400 to the winner, 300 to the 2nd place boat, and then we go to the last chance.
Well, whoever wins those 2 showdowns between Bernard and Peabody and Kelly and Shane, the winners automatically transfer to the front row of the final. So they're in the winner-take-all final. The 2 losers of those 2 heats go to the last chance heat, where they will join Jamie Nielsen. So you're going to have the 2 losers and Jamie Nielsen. That'll be a 3-boat heat. They will come out, run, they will fight for lanes, and they will run on a 5-minute clock. The 1st and 2nd place boats out of the last chance heat transfer to the final. We got a 4-boat, 3-lap, 5-minute gun, winner-take-all final. Racing, racing, racing.
That is an advantage right now with the withdrawal of the Beacon Plumbing. So Jamie Nielsen will have lane number 1 on a clock start, fight for lane, and this will be a 3-lapper in the last chance. So the loser of the 2nd showdown, which would be either J. Michael Kelly or Jimmy Shane, automatically goes to the outside lane the furthest way around. And it is a, it is a
they're
fight
gonna
for
fight.
lane. I'm sorry.
On the last chance heat and the final heat, they're going to fight for lanes. But J. Michael Kelly's going to take on Jimmy Shane in the 2nd one. Jeff Bernard, Corey Peabody. Boy, there's some Region 10 work going on there.
Should be exciting. And then, Brad, of course, the final is a fight for lane, 5-minute gun, 4-boat H1 Unlimited showdown tomorrow here at the Madison Regatta. And my apologies for goofing that up. I was trying to set it up to where
you were trying to do it already. Jeff, I'm going to let you sign off for the night, but I just want to say to our fans, if that sounded a little confusing, it maybe did. We're still working through this, but I still think at the end of the day, race fans here tomorrow are going to see more H1 racing tomorrow than they would see under a regular format. You get 2 heats tomorrow, a 1A and a 1B. You're going to get a couple of showdown heats, you're going to get a 3-boat last chance, and you're going to get a 4-boat fight for lane final. I think it's awesome.
I think it's great. Brad, great working with you. Jordan, great working with you. Our H1 Unlimited video team and engineers, wonderful job. The parade is up next on Main Street at 6 o'clock. In historic downtown Madison, the Rooster Tail Music Festival will kick off later. The headliner tonight, 38 Special. We will wrap up day number 1 of 3 of activity here on the Ohio River for the 2022 Madison Regatta. For Jordan Bear, Brad Luce, I'm Jeff Ayler. Remember, race fans, leave the racing on the water. We'll see you tomorrow here on the Ohio River. Good evening.